about perhaps doing a co-stream for this DOS game. Came out back in. I think I put 1993 was the release date on this. Eagle Eye Mysteries London. Why is this repeating my voice?
Yeah, I don't think we fully tested the audio last week.
I have a ghost in my computer apparently.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
All right. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the live feed. I believe Evie is awaiting me, and we'll figure out what's going on with that. Oh. You're watching my stream.
Sorry about that. I wanted to see when your countdown went in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, please turn off my stream because it's messing me up. There we go.
All right, but we still have the echo, and I think I have an idea where the echo is coming from.
Oh, it's gone now on my side. So.
It's still on my side though, and I think. Hold on.
You have it too.
Okay, do we still have an echo? Can you still hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Hang on a sec. Let me talk for a minute. Let me see if it's coming through the live feed. Just blather for a minute.
I know it's coming through my stream because I've done these same audio settings last week. But I think what our issue was is last week when we did the test and we got all the audio running and stuff, we only tested streaming one side. We didn't try streaming simultaneously.
Okay, so I will say that you are not. I am not echoing, and you are not echoing on my actual stream broadcast. I just switched over to my tablet.
Evan, can you text me if I want to watch that? Can you text me the link?
Okay.
Hold on one second. I have to mute out for a second. I'm trying to see something here.
Okay.
Nobody on my end heard that little rant. Turns out I was muted, but I've unmuted you, so now my audio is back on my stream. Is audio good on your stream?
Yeah, sounds great.
So we'll.
Everything's coming through.
All right, so I'm back in the game.
I got a little bit of music going on.
Let me make sure the audio is working on my stream. All right, we're good. Sometimes for my audio test, I just play like those 2 seconds of echo, but we're good. We're working now, and we're good to go. So we'll use Uncle Evie, and since I'm a guy, we'll use Jake, and Jennifer also appears sometimes.
Okay.
Do you think you can read for Jennifer as well? Just remember, she's American. You do voices better than I do.
I can come up with something, sure.
All right. You do voices better than I do. So I'll read for Jake, and you'll read for everyone else.
All right, that's fine.
So
I'll have to come up with a voice for it, but that's okay.
We'll start with practice mystery, because last week was just a rehearsal. So you know how this mission's going to go already.
Yeah.
Welcome to London, Uncle. You're just in time. Jennifer is on her way here with a special assignment from Scotland Yard. When you're through reading this, click your left mouse button to go on. As soon as Jennifer gets here, we'll go over the top secret new crime busting info that we'll use to get things done here in London. In the meantime, let me fill you in on the latest and show you around. I'm Jake Eagle, of course, and this is the garret upstairs in the house my Aunt Miranda and Uncle Basil own in London. My sister Jennifer and I are hanging out with them all summer. We plan to take a vacation from all the work we do back at Richview at our Eagle Eye Detective Agency, but it looks like mysteries just seem to pop up wherever we go. Luckily, Jennifer packed the Travis in her suitcase just in case. The text retrieval and visual imaging system is our own electronic detective's notebook. Jennifer's even added a couple of cool new features to it, too. Here's how it works. When we're on a case, I'll enter all the clues we uncover into the Travis. When you want to check our notes, just click on the Travis in my hand.
Can the Travis play Tetris?
What?
Can the Travis play Tetris?
I don't think so.
You don't have to answer that.
The Travis will display all our notes for you to check over. That way, when you're finished investigating, you can use the clues to figure out who done it. If you need help figuring out how the Travis works, one second. I'm having a glitch up here. All right, I'm good.
It's good on this one, so.
Nah. My temperature spiked, that's all that was. If you need help figuring out how the Travis works, just hit the button marked with a question mark, and you'll get an explanation of its features. I've just put some notes in there to help us get around. We'll catch up with Jennifer back here later. Let's go downstairs to the kitchen, and I'll introduce you to Aunt Em and Uncle Baz. Whenever we go anywhere, we always start by checking out the map of London. You can tell which place we should head to first, because that spot will be marked with a flashing red diamond. Just click on that diamond, and we're on our way. So we're going to start by going to the Eagle's house, which we were already in. This is my Aunt Miranda and my Uncle Basil. If you'd like to talk to them, click inside the glowing boxes that surround them, and they'll introduce themselves. When you're through talking to them, click on the box over the door to your left. Then we can head back up to the garret and see if Jennifer's back yet.
Alright, let's see. What did I do for her voice? Oh, a quick note before we continue.
You're still a little cut off at the top.
It's fine. Hang on. Let me go back to it and look. Windows attempted to do an update on me tonight. Yeah, that'll be fine. Windows attempted to do an update on me tonight, and I canceled it. But I mean, hell, who knows? It may reboot my computer halfway through the show. So just a quick word of warning on that. So anyway, moving along.
Oh, Uncle, so very pleased to meet you. Hey, what can I tell you about myself? I'm Jake and Jennifer's Aunt Miranda. I work as an investigative reporter for the Times here in London, so I often get hot news tips that Jake and Jennifer can help me research. More often than not, there's a mystery to be solved. In fact, I just got a call from my friend down at Scotland Yard, Inspector Gage. He's got just such a case. I'm not sure of the details, but it has something to do with the theft of a priceless Egyptian statue from the British Museum. Scotland Yard is London's official police headquarters. You and Jake can meet up with Inspector Gage there. He'll fill you in on the details.
Hello, Uncle. I'm thrilled. Wait, so what did I do for him? Hello, Uncle. I'm thrilled to make your acquaintance. Wait, no, that voice was for somebody else. Let me back up. Hello, Uncle. Thrilled to make your acquaintance. I'm Jake's Uncle Basil. I must say, it's quite a relief to see that you're here to help out. We just seem to be surrounded by puzzles and mysteries here in London. As an author of mystery stories and other novels, I seem to come into contact with all sorts of strange problems. There are some terrific advantages to being a rather well-known author, if I do say so myself. One of those is that I've become quite chummy with Mr. Sneed, the head librarian at the British Museum's famous British Library. Not many people get access to those special libraries and all the facts and information therein, but you will. Whenever you want to go research anything at the library, just click on the British Museum button on the map of London.
Alright, so let's go back to the map. Whenever you see your mouse cursor turn into a picture of me on the go, like this one has, it means that this way leads to another room or place. This way takes us back up to our garret. Let's go see if Jennifer's back. There's Jennifer now. She's my twin sister and about the coolest girl I've ever met. If you run your cursor over the glowing box around the note next to her, you'll see it turn into a magnifying glass. Whenever you see the cursor turn into a magnifying glass like that, it means there's something there you can examine, like that note. When you're ready to leave here, click on my feet to go back to the kitchen, then click on my feet again to get back to the map. Don't worry, most mysteries aren't quite this meta. There's a reason this is the tutorial mystery.
Yeah, that's something we should point out. This is the tutorial mission. The other missions are not like this.
Uncle, great to see you. I've got to fill you in on the latest in Eagle Eye operations. Here's the scoop, and don't worry if you don't catch it the first time. Jake will type it into the Travis for you so you can check it out anytime you want.
Trying not to veer into SpongeBob on that one.
First off, our map of London has some neat extras. When you can go to a new site on the map, a glowing diamond will appear over that spot. When you click on the area near the diamond, you'll zoom into a closer view of the map, and the site marker will be there for you to click on. When you've examined everything at a site and there's nothing more to check out, that diamond will stop glowing. You can still go back there and review what you've seen if you'd like, though. But keep an eye on those diamonds. Sometimes as the mysteries get tougher, new evidence comes up at an old site, and a diamond might start glowing again. That's your cue to go back to that site and see what new stuff is happening there. Here in England, lots of places have bunches of different rooms in them, like the garret here at Aunt Miranda and Uncle Basil's place. Remember to check out those rooms really carefully so you don't miss any clues. To solve a mystery, you'll still need to read all the clues in your Travis and figure out which clues really prove which suspect is most likely to be guilty. And then they can be executed.
Well, no, I don't think any of these are executable offenses in this game. It's a kid's game.
You can always pick up to 5 clues to solve a mystery, but if you think you can prove your case in fewer than that, select the 2 to 4 clues that you think will do it, then hit the solve button again. If those clues solve the case by themselves, you'll get to pick your suspect right away. Don't be hasty, though. A good eagle-eye detective always reads all the case notes and chooses clues carefully. Sometimes you'll need to solve puzzles, too, or read your map to get the right compass directions. Jake and I have packed all the stuff you'll need into your Eagle Eye handbook, so make sure you hang on to it and your maps.
And I did download that picture of the map from eBay, so we're good to go on the map questions.
Yeah, I was going to say we've got the manual also, but...
That should get you around town okay. Good luck, Uncle. This is the special assignment I was telling you about, Jake. Inspector Gage said this note was left at his office, addressed to the Eagle Eye Detective Agency. Someone must have heard about us from our newspaper clippings in Ridgeview. From what I could gather from Inspector Gage, last weekend someone stole a priceless ancient Egyptian statue of the cat goddess Bastet from the British Museum. Scotland Yard had no leads at all until this note arrived here this morning. It's our only clue.
You're our only hope, Luke. Leia, whatever.
The note reads...
Oh, is this is narrator, right? Am I doing narrator?
You can if you want, or I could do it a continuation of Jennifer, because she was the one who was actually talking about
Yeah,
and sharing
okay,
it.
I'll do it as Jennifer then.
The note reads, Little cat statue came from the Nile, stayed at the British Museum a while. McCavity came to take it away and drop it at Covent Garden one day. All the little kitties lined up in a row, fake ones and real one all ready to go. McCavity watched to see what was done. The head eater of beef, he claimed the true one. Only the cleverest of eagle eyes will find my special feline prize. If you find the answer to my poser, you'll get Kitty back, or else it's no, sir.
Poser? What's that? One of those British slang words? Luckily, Jennifer and I put together a little British-American dictionary in the back of the Eagle Eye handbook. Grab it and see if you can find out what a poser is, Uncle.
We already know.
Yeah.
That's right, Uncle. Poser is the British term for riddle. Anytime you come across a strange British word that you don't understand, just grab your handbook and look it up. Right, mate?
I know that one, Jen. Mate is what British people call their buddies. I can't wait to get back to the States to try these new words out on my mates.
Aye, mate.
Well, this poser's got me stumped. Remember, if you're stumped when trying to solve a mystery, just click on your partner's face while you're in the Travis computer notebook, and you'll get a hint. For now, my hint is to head to Scotland Yard.
Sure thing, Jennifer. I've typed some of this poem into the Travis, so we can check it again if we need to. When you're ready, just click on the Travis to see the notes. When you finish reading, click on the Travis again to get back here, or click on the Travis map button to get to the map. Or we can click on the feet and go directly to the map.
Sorry if you hear my stomach making noises. I had quite a lot of KFC recently, so just FYI.
I had a buffalo pizza. Not
Oh.
that it's relevant. Scotland Yard, let's go.
With the dog. Woof woof. Bum 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 bum. Feels like it needs music there.
That's Inspector Gage, Uncle. Just click inside the glowing box to talk to him. Whenever your mouse cursor turns into a speech balloon like that, it means that person is someone we can interview or talk to. When you're ready to leave here, click on my feet to go back to the map, or click on the Travis to solve the mystery.
Hello there, Jake. This must be Uncle. Miranda just rang me up and told me all about you. We can certainly use your help today. I'm afraid that rascal McCavity's up to his or her old tricks again.
Just who is McCavity, Inspector Gage?
If only we knew. I'm afraid that's just it, Jake. No one knows who he or she is. Every time we think we're close to catching the fiend, he or she simply isn't there. So far, the pranks are annoying, but mostly harmless. For example, last year on April Fool's Day, McCavity somehow introduced a computer virus into the police databanks. The machines were spouting that ridiculous poem for 3 days. And a fortnight.
Which poem are you talking about, Inspector?
It's from T.S. Eliot's Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. You know, the one that inspired that popular musical Cats? Memories, all alone in the moonlight. Copyright restriction. I bet you could find a copy of it round at the British Library. It seems that Macavity's latest trick was stealing the statue of the Egyptian goddess Bastet from the British Museum. The note I gave to Jennifer suggests that statue was placed amongst a group of souvenirs at Covent Garden yesterday. They were supposed to be simple copies of the Bastet statue. Worthless souvenirs, really. But according to this note, Macavity somehow replaced one of the fakes with a genuine ancient Egyptian statue. Now, some innocent shopper has a priceless Egyptian artifact gathering dust on his or her mantelpiece. We must find the person who purchased the statue and return Bastet to the British Museum.
Never let it be said I don't commit to the role.
Inspector Gage's file on the case lists the possible owners of the priceless original statue. According to Covent Garden sales records, only 3 people purchased statues of Bastet at the market yesterday. The buyers were Mr. Hargreaves of the Tower of London, Miss Maudie from Warwick Castle, and Nigel Eagle of South Kensington. Nigel Eagle, that's my cousin. He's supposed to be at Covent Garden today with his friend Gay.
And off to Covent Garden we go, Covent Garden, however you pronounce that, it's off to there we go.
We're going to do the museum first, I think, because we can do the research and then go meet the people.
Ah, gotcha. All right, makes sense. Strategery, I like it.
The British Museum is so unbelievably cool. It's got room after room of ancient treasures and art. Jennifer and I love the Egyptian room. It's full of mummies.
Mummy.
The British Library is just one of the fantastic sections of the museum. The library has jillions of books and documents, and a lot of them are the original copies in the handwriting of the author. When you're ready to leave here, click on my feet to go back to the map, or click on the Travis to solve the mystery.
Or hiccup. That works too. What'd I do for Mr. Sneed?
Not a word. My powers of deduction tell me that you are Jake Eagle and Uncle Evie.
Well, how did you know that?
Elementary, my dear young sleuths. From your colonial accents and those garish clothes, I deduce you must be American. Your inquisitive looks lead me to believe you may be detectives. My newspaper archives from America contain stories of a pair of young investigators newly arrived on our sceptered isle with those names precisely.
I think I like him as Sean Connery. I'll do that.
With a genius IQ, little escaped my notice. And your Uncle Basil called to say you might pop by to do some research.
Aha!
If you'd like to find out more about the statue that was stolen from our museum, you'll need to look up information on Bastet, the Egyptian god goddess. I've set aside some books for you over there.
The library is a great place to check out all kinds of stuff. Let's see what this book has to say about that T.S. Eliot poem that Inspector Gage told us about. It says that T.S. Eliot was one of the greatest American poets. He mostly wrote serious poetry, but he did publish a book of funny children's poems called Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. The book is full of poems about cats. It looks like Macavity took his name from the poem called Macavity, the Mystery Cat. Here's a copy of it. And fun factoid, that's the book that was later adapted into the hit Broadway musical Cats, one of the longest running Broadway musicals in years, and then was later turned into the devastation that was the Cats musical movie. The first stanza of the poem reads, Macavity's a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw, for he's the master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity's not there. That sure does describe Inspector Gage's crook Macavity. One day, when you have some time, you should check out the rest of that poem at the library. It'll crack you up. Or just watch a recording of the musical, but not the movie version.
What? The movie's nightmarish. An abomination unto man and cat.
Here at the British Library, we have to do a lot of research for ourselves. Since we're trying to find out information on Bastet, we'll need to figure out which book has that information. Okay, pick the book you think will most likely tell us something about Bastet. I'm going for the encyclopedia.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's the encyclopedia.
That's right. To find information on Bastet, we'll need to check the encyclopedia under B. That'll be in the volume that has information from A to Z. The encyclopedia.
B is between A and C.
The encyclopedia has an entry under B for Bastet. The cat goddess Bastet was worshipped by the ancient Egyptian people. She was supposed to bring good fortune and protect from evil. All cats were sacred to her, so priests of Bastet would take great care to feed the cats that frequented her temples.
Good for them.
Well, that tells us a little bit about Bastet, but it doesn't seem to help our case much. Didn't that note say something about beef? Let's look under beef too, just in case. I like beef. I always keep beef in my drawer. Let's see. Beef, the meat taken from cattle. Okay, we knew that, but look here. The next entry is beef eater.
Fantastic gin.
Yeah, it says that beef eater is the nickname of the yeoman warders, the people who help guard the Tower of London. That's strange. One of the 4 people who bought the cat statues was from the Tower of London, remember? I'm seeing a typo here. Remember, the case notes said there's only 3 people who bought the statues.
Oh, that's true. Yep. Somebody make a boo-boo.
It says here no one is sure exactly where the nickname Beefeater came from. It might have something to do with the fact that yeoman warders were paid enough to eat well during times when other people may not have been able to afford luxuries like beef. Let's be sure that we head over to the tower and check out those beefeaters.
Yes, let's.
But before we do that, let's go on a little train ride at Victoria Station.
Riding on a train, riding on a train.
We're not on the train yet. We're on the bus to go to the train.
Oh, it's a bus to go to the train. Okay.
From Victoria Station, we can take the train to all kinds of places in England. You can tell where we can go today by checking the schedule board. Look, Warwick is highlighted. Click on that name on the schedule and we're on our way.
Warwick Davis, yay.
I don't think it's that Warwick, but wasn't he English too?
That's too bad. I believe so, yeah.
And there's also a League of Legends character named Warwick. I think he was the werewolf. I don't remember for sure.
Nice.
On our way over, I'll show you the latest features that Jennifer has added to the Travis. The video travel guide. Just click the down button for more information or done to go on. This is that other bit you did.
Oh, yeah. Let's skip the... Well, I don't know. What do you think? Should I go ahead and read it?
Yeah, because it's educational tidbits.
Warwick Castle in Warwickshire is one of the finest examples of medieval castles in Britain. The castle, now owned by Madame Tussauds, was first built in 1068 by William the Conqueror. Many great earls of Warwick ruled this castle, including Richard Neville, who was known as the Kingmaker for his part in the War of the Roses. Complete with grim dungeons and majestic battlements, Warwick Castle looks over the River Avon and acres of gardens where the cry of peacocks can be heard.
Warwick Castle is just one of the excellent places we'll get to visit during our stay in London. Check out those towers. And across this series, we'll get to see a ton of castles.
Dude, check out those towers.
When you're done investigating, click on my feet to go back to Victoria Station, or click on the Travis to solve the mystery.
Oh, so we're here to meet her. Okay. Let's see, Miss Molly, what did I do for her?
Yes, I did purchase a statue at Covent Garden when I was visiting my sister in London yesterday. Working here at Warwick Castle as a tour guide, I get rather tired of looking at armour and swords and tapestries all day, so I try to decorate my home with sweet little knickknacks. This statue is a lovely little cat in the old Egyptian style. I'm terribly fond of animals, you see. In fact, I'm a vegetarian.
A vegetarian? So you don't eat beef?
Oh, heavens no. I don't eat meat of any kind.
All right. That was a very short interaction for a whole long train ride. Let's go back to London.
What? Going back to London on a train, on a train. I'm going back to London on a train.
Covent Garden is a great place to go shopping. Jennifer and I always find the coolest souvenirs here. Look, there's Nigel with his friends Gay and Dorothea. Let's ask him about the statue he bought yesterday. When you're done investigating here, click on my feet. Yeah, we know that part. None of the booths at Covent Garden are selling any kind of cat statues or Egyptian souvenirs today.
Hi, Jake. Is this your friend, Uncle? Pleased to meet you. I'm Jake and Jennifer's cousin Nigel. What are you two doing here today?
Actually, Nigel, we're looking for you. We're trying to find out more about that cat statue you bought here yesterday.
How did you ever know about that? I was going to give it to my mate Gordon as a birthday present. He's just mad about anything Egyptian. When I saw it yesterday, I nearly dropped my fish and chips. It's the perfect thing for old Gordon.
You were eating fish and chips as he shopped?
Absolutely, I can't make it past the chippy on the corner without grabbing something to nosh. Makes my mouth water just thinking about it. I just brought Gay and Dorothea by to show them all the fab Egyptian goodies this fellow had for sale, but it seems he's closed up shop and gone off. Oh well.
So we have a
Gone
vegetarian.
off is another way to describe bad food, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this potato salad has gone off.
Well, we're looking for a crook, so they've definitely gone off.
Ah, yeah. McCavity's not there, remember?
So far we have one lady who's a vegetarian and one guy who likes fish and chips. We don't have any beef eaters yet. But now we're going to the Tower of London.
I think we're going to find a beef eater here. The Tower of London was originally built by William the Conqueror in 1066. It served as the site of the Royal Menagerie, Royal Observatory, and Mint, as well as being a residence for every English monarch from William I to Henry VIII. The towers housed many accused traitors as they awaited execution, including Sir Otto Raleigh and Anne Boleyn. Every time I hear the name Anne Boleyn, I think of Amber Lynn, who is an actress of an entirely different sort. Anyway.
This huge old castle near the Thames River is called the Tower of London. This place is just packed with history. Jennifer and I learn something new each time we visit. When you're done investigating it, yeah, we know that part. Wow, what a great costume.
This is no costume, young person. This is my official uniform. Let me introduce myself.
You can see another typo here. Typos were a plague that affected DOS-based text games.
Yeah.
My name is Mr. Hargreaves, and I'm the chief warder here at the tower. Well, all of the beefeaters are yeoman warders here at the tower are under my command. We're all former officers of Her Majesty's Armed Forces with distinguished service records. Yes.
So you're the head beef eater.
Yes, I eat more beef than anyone. You could say that. Anytime you come to visit the tower again, just ask for me and I'll be delighted to give you a tour.
So now if we go back to the map, we can see that...
Hey, there's Q Caller. What's up?
Hi. So on the map, you can see none of the diamonds are flashing, which means we've picked up all the clues for this mystery, and we can...
Yeah.
We can... I think we have to go somewhere to actually pull out the machine and solve it. You know what? Let's solve it. Let's solve it at Scotland Yard and show up the cops, shall we?
Let's do it. Riding on a bus, riding on a bus, over to Scotland Yard. Yeah.
So I'll just put this into solve mode. Now we just have to pick up to 5 clues.
Up to 5 clues. You don't have to pick 5 clues. Wait, I got confused about that last time.
The head
Q
eater
says your
beef.
Stream, hey, Evie. Q says your stream is only showing your opening splash screen.
My what now?
Your stream is only showing your opening splash screen.
Oh, shoot.
Modes.
Did that fix it? Okay,
I don't.
guys on my stream, if you want to see all the visuals from this first mystery, I did post the rehearsal video, so you can go check out my YouTube and you can watch this mystery. Thank you, Q, for that alert. I thought we
Yeah,
had solved
me too.
everything before. All right, so
Is your stream like running? Did you go live on it?
yeah, I just forgot to switch back to my preset stage.
Ah, okay.
So Q, are you
Um,
actually watching both streams simultaneously?
he may have tried yours first and then flipped to mine to tell you. Would be
Uh,
my bet, but I'm not sure. Do you want me to just blaze through the text on this, or?
well, no, but we don't. We're not. I don't think we necessarily need to reread all the clues. We can
All right.
just
Well, let's
skim
continue on
through
then.
it, and if we see
Yeah.
something, I'll linger on each page. If you see a relevant clue, you can recite it. McCavity's note said the head eater of beef. We want that clue.
Yep.
Uh,
And
the warders are called the beef eaters,
yep.
and Hargreaves is the head of all the warders.
Mm-hmm. So we really only need three here
Yeah.
for this one.
Now, when we get to the second case book, all the mysteries will require all 5 clues. It's going to be Mr. Hargreaves. Are we in agreement?
Yes, I vote yay. Yay for Hargreaves.
You got it.
Now he's not.
Great job. He's not
I
going
was
to
just gonna
jail
say,
because it wasn't his fault. It was McCavity's fault.
yeah, he's not. He's not the thief. Just to clarify that, he's just the guy that had the statue or ended up with it.
Yeah.
So he's innocent.
McCavity's notes said that the real Egyptian statue was placed among a bunch of copies at Covent Garden, and that the head eater of beef bought the genuine. Inspector Gage discovered that only 3 people bought them, including Mr. Hargreaves. We found out that he is in charge of all the yeoman warders at the Tower of London. He's the chief warder. And since they're called beef eaters, that would make him the head eater of beef. His cat statue is the real one.
His heart results must be horrible.
You did this part too, I think.
Did I?
This is the
American
trophy book.
detectives- Yeah. American detectives retrieve Egyptian artifact. How was it? Oh, yeah. A rare and valuable Egyptian artifact stolen from the British Museum this weekend was returned today thanks to the crack investigative work of detectives Uncle Evie and Jake Eagle of America's Eagle Eye Detective Agency. Uncle figured out that the genuine statue. Boy, it takes a while to update. Genuine statue had been hidden amongst a display of copies for sale at Covent Garden and accidentally purchased by Chief Warder Hargreaves from the Tower of London, explained Inspector Gage of Scotland Yard. The crime itself was committed by the mysterious criminal known only as McCavity, stated museum officials. Uncle figured out that the note left by McCavity referred to the beefeaters of the Tower of London and traced the cat statue back to me, noted Chief Warder Hargreaves. I was glad to return the artifact to the museum and have invited Uncle and Jake to join myself and the rest of the beefeaters for the famous ceremony of the keys at the tower tomorrow night.
So now we get to go into the first case list. But before we
Okay.
go...
Yeah, we had this the other day. We had to do something. There
Alright.
you go.
Before we go into this, do we want to take a 5-minute pee break?
Yeah, how long have we been on? We've only been on an hour. Do you know how long it takes to do these? Because I don't. From this point on, I don't know how long they take.
I would estimate that the cases in this first case book are going to be about 45 minutes to an hour, and in the second case book that we'll get episodes later, it'll be an hour to like an hour and a quarter ish, if I remember correctly.
I'm good with continuing on unless you just want to.
Oh,
It's up to you.
I kind of feel like I want some water, but if I drink water now, then I'm gonna need to pee in the middle of the case, so I may as well just do both if I was to get up and do that.
Well, I mean, we can pause in the middle of a case. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. We can do it either way. I'm fine.
let's go on. But we will need to break out. We will need to break before the third case.
All right, cool. And a quick note to you, Evie. When I do like a bunch of heavy voice stuff like this, a lot of times I don't. I'm just reading it. I don't really pay attention to it that much. So I'm kind of counting on you to know like which things to go. You're running the game anyway, so I'm kind of counting on you to do that. I tend to be kind of stupid when I'm trying to do voice stuff and play at the same time.
Well, here's the thing. There's nothing for you to play because I'm the one who's in charge, who has the operation of the mouse and the click.
Right. I'm just saying, don't look to me for any insight.
Well, when we do the
I will
case
have
solving, that's that. When we do the case solving, I mean that's teamwork.
Yeah.
When we solve the case at the end, that we can do together. I mean, we're a team on this.
Right. But I'm just saying, I may not have very relevant input, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right, so it looks like we're starting out with the case.
Sherlock Holmes.
The case of the Sherlock Holmes hoax.
Let's go.
If it lets me click, oh, there we go.
Who is this person?
Uncle Basil.
Oh, that's bad. I didn't recognize him. Oh God, what did I do for his voice?
Usually they put their face up on the screen when they're talking. They must have forgotten to on this bit of dialogue.
Yeah, well, I can see him in the corner there. I should have recognized him, but I didn't. Anyway.
Generally, if you're in the house, if you're in the Eagle house, it's going to be Jake, Jennifer, Basil, Aunt Miranda, and Nigel. Those are generally the only people you see in this house.
All right, let's go.
Jake, I've just gotten my invitation to the 12th annual Holmes Challenge put on by the Baker Street Irregulars. Are you and Uncle up to it?
The Baker Street Irregulars? Who are they?
Only the most dedicated and fanatical Sherlock Holmes fan club in the Western world.
I'm trying to remember what I did for his voice. I forgot already, and I just did it a few minutes ago. Anyway.
They meet each week at the Sherlock Holmes pub near Trafalgar Square.
But I thought that Sherlock Holmes was a made-up person.
Of course, but that doesn't stop people from creating a fan club for him. He's one of the most popular fictional characters ever created. The Baker Street Irregulars are crazy about him. They have a vast collection of little items connected with Holmes and the author who created him, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Each year they have a party and contest to see which new items deserve to be added to their collection. But there's a catch. Come along and see.
The catch is they randomly pick one member to kill.
Oh, no, I don't think it works like that. This was a kid's game primarily.
Yeah.
So we're going to the Sherlock Holmes pub.
Is that a real place? Like, seriously, Sherlock Holmes pub?
I think so. At least it was at the time this game was made.
Huh.
Now, these are a bunch of one-off characters, except for Uncle Basil.
All
Uncle
right.
Basil's been a member of the Irregulars for years. He's a huge fan of Sherlock Holmes. It'll be a real challenge to see if we can outsmart him.
Sam, you're the famous American detectives Basil's told us so much about. I'm delighted to meet you both. You must join us in our annual contest. Each year the club board selects 4 members who are asked to secretly gather special items connected with either Sherlock Holmes or his brilliant creator, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. We then add these items to our collection. The trick is...
Miss Hudson's had a few glasses of wine.
The trick is...
Well, they are at a pub.
Told to submit a fraud. One of the items could not possibly be authentic. Our members are so very clever and so well versed in their Holmes facts that the fake is often very difficult to spot indeed. You're welcome to examine the items at your leisure. You've got the rest of the day to spot the fake. I'm going back to my Chablis.
So, as Holmes would say, the game's afoot. I've already got my theories on the impostor. I deduce it must be the vial of water.
What makes you think that, Mr. Maypole?
Elementary, my dear Jake. It's the easiest item to fake. The water didn't come from a lake.
I must have stepped on a rake. The water in that vial is more than likely ordinary tap water collected right here in London. I suspect one of our members thought we could never prove otherwise.
What proof do you have that the water is fake?
Why, my detective's intuition, my dear young man. What more proof do I need? My suspicion was on that cap. I seem to remember. Oh, bother, what was it now? Oh, yes. I seem to remember that the real original deerstalker worn by Basil Rathbone was donated to, well, you know, that waxworks thingy place. What is its name?
Madame Tussauds?
That's it, Madame Tussauds, whatever. I'm sure I heard that it was on display there in the Sherlock Holmes exhibit. It can't be there and here at the same time. I say the caps are fake.
Now let's look at the items themselves. The rectangular bronze plate is tagged, original number plate affixed to 221B Baker Street, the address used by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle for the home of Sherlock Holmes. The number plate is deeply inscribed in neat lettering, 221B Baker Street. The back of the plate still has red brick fragments attached to it, apparently from when it was removed from a wall. A long curved pipe is tagged original meerschaum pipe used on stage by Sir Alex Livermore portraying Holmes in 1965 at the Old Vic. The bowl of the pipe has a small dent at the bottom. A clear glass vial of water is tagged authentic water from the Reichenbach Falls in Switzerland, where Holmes fought the infamous Professor Moriarty in the story The Final Problem. The water in the vial looks clean and clear. The tag on the hat says original deerstalker cap worn by Basil Rathbone while portraying Holmes in the movie Hound of the Baskervilles. The cap has a small leather patch inside marked S.H. Esquire 1939. So those are our items. We have suspicions so far on 2 of the items. Let us explore the town. There's some other places we can explore.
I'm very suspicious of the hat, to be honest with you. Not only because it's supposed to be on display elsewhere, but because if it was a character hat, why would it say Sherlock Holmes Esquire on it?
Well, we're going to the Wax Museum, so we'll see if the hat is on display.
Riding on a bus in the heart of London. Riding on a bus, gonna get that case done.
Madame Tussauds happens to be on Baker Street, the same street where Sherlock Holmes was supposed to live. I noticed on the way in that some of the buildings on the street are made of red brick. I guess a lot of London buildings are. Madame Tussauds has wax figures of all kinds of famous and historical people. Even Marie Antoinette, who lived in France over 200 years ago. Dr. Seuss thinks that they own the real deerstalker cap. Let's see if he's right.
Dr. Seuss sounds like you're trying to say Dr. Seuss, but you have a lisp.
A little bit, yeah. All right. She is a recurring character, but not as regular as some of the others.
Ms. Dunbar. All right.
I think she's also involved in the cases where we go to the theater. I'm not 100% sure on that, though.
We don't know where she's from other than England, right?
Yeah, everyone here is from England.
Hang on. Excuse me.
I might have her confused with someone else on my comment about working at the theater as well. She might just be when we go to Tussauds.
That's fine. What to do for her voice? We have many bits and pieces that once belonged to famous people. Some of the clothes you see on our wax figures are from the closets of the real famous people. Why, Luciano Pavarotti sent us an entire set of evening clothes, including shoes, to dress his model. We did have a cap like the one you mentioned, but I'm afraid we sold it just recently to an anonymous collector. It was quite valuable. The original deerstalker hat, the original deerstalker worn by Basil Rathbone in the movie Hound of the Baskervilles. I remember it had an odd little tag in the back, as if it really were made for Sherlock Holmes. One of the wardrobe people on the movie set must have put it in as a joke. Ah, that explains it then. The tag read S.H. Esquire 1939. That was the year the film came out, don't you know? Quite a classic. Have you seen it?
Yes, it's one of my favorites. I love Sherlock Holmes movies.
Very
Okay,
cool.
so we've already debunked the cat. So now we have to research the water, the pipe, and the plaque. But the cap is not it. We are going to the theater, so that debunks my statement that right there that she recur. I must have gotten confused because they happen to be in the same case. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
She does
Sorry.
recur when we go to Tussauds in future cases, though.
Ah, okay. The Old Vic. Riding on a bus to the Old Vic Theater. Riding on the bus, on the bus.
The note on the old pipe said that it was used here at the Old Vic. Maybe we can find out if it's the real McCoy.
It's not a McCoy, it's a Scrimshaw.
Now, she does
And-
recur in the theater, so she is a recurring character when the theater appears.
And askew. Okay. We've got quite a lot of souvenirs here from old plays and shows. Our costume shop keeps all kinds of goodies from famous plays we've run. Who knows when we'll be able to use them again? We have a box full of old pipes. Some of them are quite ordinary, but there were a few very special ones. We recently sold one of the nicer pipes to an anonymous collector. It was a lovely old meerschaum pipe, you know, the kind with the long curved bowl. Sir Alex Livermore smoked it on stage in an old Sherlock Holmes play. Quite a collectible, I suppose, even if it did have a bit of a tent on the bottom of the bowl. Okay, that's a very distinctive detail.
So we
It's
have
convenient of her
debunked the
just to
cap
drop
and the
that.
pipe. So now we just need to research the water and the plaque. An album in the stage manager's booth has a collection of old playbills from the Old Vic's history. One of the playbills lists a 1965 production of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, starring Sir Alex Livermore as the world's greatest detective. The publicity photo shows a tall, sharp-faced man in a smoking jacket holding a meerschaum pipe.
Sir Alex was a wonderful man to work with, as I recall. He was regular here at the Old Vic in the theatre's heyday. My favourite of his performances was a wonderful production of Tea for Two. He played opposite a young girl named Amy Jolana. I hear she's quite famous in the States now.
Not only is she famous, but she visited our hometown Richview just last year.
I see that London isn't the only hometown visited by famous actors and actresses.
All right, so it's not the cap, it's not the pipe. I have a feeling we'll be hitting this.
Of the cap.
I have a feeling we'll be hitting this case a lot quicker than that 45 minutes estimate.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, we've only got 2 left, and these clues are pretty obvious. This game was made obviously for younger people, so
Yeah. So maybe
it's not gonna be head scratcher.
maybe over the next couple episodes we'll see how long it's actually taking us. Of course, the first one we were working out the technical bits. That's probably why it took us 45 minutes, and we had to read through all the instructions. But this one,
yeah.
once we have all the instructions and we just have case details, this second case is moving pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Let's keep going and see just how long.
All right, we're gonna go to the British Museum. This is so we're gonna meet up with our old friend
Going
Mr.
to the
Sneed.
British Museum. Gonna go to see him at the British Museum.
We found out stuff about some of the Irregulars collection, but we're going to have to do a little more research to find out about the rest. I can't imagine a better place than the British Library. Aunt Miranda is good pals with the librarian here, Mr. Sneed. She says he's kind of cranky, but when it comes to fact-finding, he's the tops.
You know why they called them the irregular, didn't you? None
No.
of them took laxatives. Anyway, normally I detest being disturbed with requests for trivia, but Sherlock Holmes happens to be a pet fascination of mine. Upon getting a phone call from your Uncle Basil, I decided to do a little reliable data gathering for you on the world's greatest detective, before you filled your heads with ludicrous twaddle on this subject. The documents are there for your perusal. Do be careful with them.
A stack of newspaper articles about Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's character, Sherlock Holmes, is filled with accounts of fans devoted to both the author and the detective he created. One article notes that to this day, The non-existent address of 221B Baker Street receives as many as 200 letters a week to Sherlock Holmes detective. The fact that there's not now, nor ever has been, a true 221B address on Baker Street doesn't stop the mailings. We found the answer already, but let's just read all the documents in the library anyway, just to humor them. The letters sent to the fictional detective contain requests for anything from advice on cases to marriage proposals. Many are received by the current tenant of numbers 215 to 229 Baker Street, the Abbey National Bank headquarters. Wow, I guess the stories and movies about Sherlock Holmes make him seem so interesting that some people think he's a real person. That just goes to show how cool those stories are. Excuse me.
Okay, I just pulled up Google Maps and punched in 221B Baker Street. There is a Sherlock Holmes museum there now.
Yeah, but that at the time this game was made, that was a non-existent address.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's there now. They put one there. That's a brilliant idea. All right, anyway.
The water in the vial is supposed to be from the Reichenbach Falls in Switzerland. If there is no place called Reichenbach Falls, then the water must be fake. Which book do you think might help us to find out if a place in Switzerland is real?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
World Atlas?
Yeah, that works.
That's it. The World Atlas shows that there really is a Reichenbach Falls in Switzerland. It really does exist.
Yeah, I got a picture of it.
A review of the collected stories of Sherlock Holmes mentions the final problem. In this story, Holmes tracks his archenemy, Dr. Moriarty, the Napoleon of crime. Didn't they call McCavity the Napoleon of crime?
Yeah, it's a reference.
To a huge waterfall in the Switzerland called Reichenbach Falls. In a fierce struggle at the top of the falls, Moriarty and Holmes plunged to their deaths. The review mentions that the public outcry over the death of Holmes was so great, Arthur Conan Doyle's publishers made him write a story about the return of Holmes, explaining his cunning escape from the watery death. So, in other words, Star Wars stole from Sherlock Holmes.
Well, Sherlock Holmes stole from Sherlock Holmes because they did the exact same thing with the Benedict Cumberbatch show.
Yeah, but I mean,
the
Star Wars is
Cumberbatch
bringing
show.
characters back from being dead all the time.
Well, that's a common trope, though. If you look at
Anyway,
there's something called just let me throw this in real quick. There's something called the hero's journey that has common story beats in oral storytelling and written literature, and the death and rebirth, quote unquote, of the main character is one of the major points.
are we in agreement that it's the plaque?
It's a plaque, yeah.
So the first clue we need is the one that talks about the plaque being inscribed 221B
Right.
Baker.
Yeah. The brick fragments, I don't think that's relevant.
I don't think that's necessary to establish that that's not a real address.
Yeah, keep going. Go back one. Many buildings.
There is not now, nor has there ever been, an actual 221B Baker Street. Keep in mind, of course, that this mystery, that this game is 30 years old. There is a 221B now, but not then.
Right. One thing real quick, if it's demanding another address, well, that's the current tenant, so I don't know that matters, but yeah, I'd say that one.
I'm not sure if that one's truly relevant, but we will see.
I'm not sure either, but
All right, it says we need the clues we need, so let's pick the plaque.
it's the plate. Yep.
We breezed through that one in about 18 minutes.
Wow, that was quick.
You got it. The number plate is a fake.
Shinobu's on. What's up, Shinobu?
Mrs. Hudson told us that each year 4 members of the Baker Street Irregulars submit Sherlock Holmes related items for their club collection. But each year, one piece of memorabilia is a fraud. The challenge is to spot the fake piece. The Deerstalker cap from Hound of the Baskervilles seemed to fit the description of the genuine article that Miss Dunbar at Madame Tussauds gave us. The pipe, supposedly used by Sir Alex Livermore portraying Sherlock Holmes on stage at Old Vic, matched Miss Askew's description of the authentic item from the Old Vic's costuming department. The water in the vial could have come from Reichenbach Falls, as there is a waterfall in Switzerland with that name, but we didn't find any real proof to back that up.
Uh, Shinobu, I am sorry that you are on the last of your bourbon.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
What we did find was a clue that proved for sure that the number plate must be a fake. There has never been a 221B Baker Street. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle invented that fictional address for his character. The number plate couldn't possibly have been real.
There is a fantastic board game called 221B Baker Street. It's quite good.
Young sleuths win Let me try that again. Young sleuths win Holmes fans' annual contest. Visiting detective duo Uncle Evie and Jake Eagle took the Baker Street Irregulars by storm yesterday when they beat longtime fan club members to the punch. The duo correctly identified the fraudulent item of Sherlock Holmes memorabilia from a group submitted to the club's collection.
All right, there we go. We can continue on. I think.
All right, yeah, but I think I really do need water now.
All right. So what we'll do, we can go ahead and go to break, but for the people watching my stream, it's going to be a muted break because I can't. The way my audio's set up, I can't play audio from the computer without. Well, no, I could mute the Discord. I think I'll go ahead and mute Discord. And do you want to, Evie? Do you want to put this on a timer, or how do you want to work this?
I just need water and a pee, so I'll just be a couple moments.
All right. Let's put it for 5 minutes.
All right, I have an idea. I'll put me back to the splash screen, and I'll switch back to this screen to show you that I'm ready.
Okay, that'll work. All right. In that case, I'm gonna go and break into. For people watching my stream, I will be back in just a few minutes.
For those of you on my stream, I am back. Uh, we're just gonna wait for Brett to return. We have some exciting things coming up on stream. I'm not gonna do my normal Saturday Lego stream tomorrow. Instead, I wanna play the Planet Zoo some more. It was a really fun game, and the sooner I get through the remaining tutorial scenarios, the sooner I can get started building Mega Zoo 2.0. So we'll play the zoo game tomorrow night. And then Monday is March 10th, also known as Mario Day. So I'm going to have some kind of Mario content on Monday, either Mario Lego or maybe even a Mario game. We'll see what I can put together for Monday.
All right, well, I am back as well. Excuse me. I was waiting for you to flip the screen over, and I thought you said you were going to flip it over, and you didn't. So.
Oh, I did.
Was it on the title, and you flipped to this?
I put my stream on the splash screen. I must not have switched it in the tab. Oh yeah, you see my browser tab. I'm looking at my OBS. I got confused there. Sorry about that.
Gotcha. All right, no worries. All good.
So we're gonna move on to the third mystery.
Yeah, this is actually pretty fun. I'm digging this.
Yeah, and if the mysteries are gonna be that quick, we don't have to do a perfect 17 episodes of 3 each. We can see how we feel like playing and divide accordingly.
Oh yeah, no, we can wing it. It's all good. I have confidence.
We don't have to do even divisions. So let's go back to the list. So now we have the case of the Shakespearean sham. I have a feeling we're gonna see old Vic again.
The Shakespearean sham. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my camera here.
Every time I sit down, it's like it messes up my shot. Okay, there we go. That's better.
So here's Nigel.
Nigel.
Hi, Nigel. What's up?
Oh, Mum's on assignment and Dad's going off to his rehearsal. Pretty quiet downstairs.
What rehearsal is that?
He's doing a play with the Amateur Shakespeare Society. He's really chuffed about it. They're going to perform up in Stratford-upon-Avon, where Shakespeare was born.
That sounds great. Where are they now?
They're all over at the Old Vic, an old theatre on the South Bank, rehearsing. Do you and Uncle want to pop by and have a look?
Why not? Shakespeare's great. Maybe they'll need some kids for extras. Come on, let's go.
I sat down. I had a water and I set it down someplace. I don't know what I did. Oh well.
We're going back to the Old Vic. So this would be Anne Askew again, I think.
Ah, okay.
And probably some other characters we haven't met yet.
The Old Vic Theatre, formerly known as the Royal Victoria Hall and Coffee Tavern, was opened in 1880 by Lillian Bayliss. It has been a landmark of British theatre ever since.
All right, just the one page for that one. Let's go in.
Received pronunciation.
Macbeth is a play about a Scottish general who meets some witches. They tell him he's destined to become the king. He tells this to his wife, and she persuades him to murder his friend Duncan, the real king, and take his place. They don't get away with it, though. The witches said he'd be king, but they didn't actually say he'd be king for long. In the end, Macbeth and his wife both die because of their treachery. It's a really wild play, lots of fight scenes and neat speeches, and creepy witches and stuff. Let's ask Miss Finley how things are going. So Miss Finley is another character in the theater department.
A different character, all right.
Actually,
How do you know which one's Miss Finley from this?
we don't. Actually, there's a whole bunch of characters that you'll have to read for here. And one of them is going to be Uncle Basil, but I can't tell you who all these other people are just yet.
All right.
Oh, he recurs also.
So Ned Bassett. What would a Ned Bassett sound like? I have no idea.
Dahlia, you know I'm right. What I need's a challenge. I see the Scottish king as a warrior, fiery and strong, not this mealy-mouthed milquetoast that Frescura's portraying. Go on, let me have a go at it. I'm dying inside. Ned, Dr. Wilde.
She looks like one of those English old theater lady types. You know what I'm
Okay,
talking about.
right. Ned, how many times must I say it? No. Frescura has the part. You're his understudy. Your job is to fill in for him should he get ill. It's not to whine about his interpretation of the role. You yuts. Dahlia, just listen for a moment. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. Thank you, Ned. That will be quite enough. Should Frescura be unable to go on, you may recite that speech however you please. As it is, concentrate on learning your own lines. The porter you play has a small role, but every role in a play is important. That's true. Now, people, attention, please. Let's gather up props and move out to the minibuses. We're off to Stratford in 15 minutes. Do not forget your scripts.
Okay, I think I've already solved this mystery, and I don't even know what the mystery is yet.
Okay. It's the guy up in the balcony that's sweeping constantly.
No.
He did it.
Remember this understudy kid said was obsessed with he wants to take
He
over
wants
for him.
the part. Yeah.
My prediction is we'll get to Stratford. Frescura will have been met with an accident, giving him the part, and that would make him the we still got to actually play through the rest of the story, but
Oh, it's
I've
so
already got
tragic.
guesses.
He fell down the stairs. Goodness. Let's see. She looks like a cute young flirty person. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Hello, Jake, Uncle. Have you come around to have a peek at our rehearsal? Mind you, don't get in the way now. Everyone's very, very busy. We're in our final stage of rehearsing the Scottish play. Do you know why they keep doing that, by the way?
Yeah, it's bad luck to say the name Macbeth.
Yeah. They're about to explain it.
Unless you're actually in scene doing the dialogue. They won't even say the play if you're rehearsing a performance, but they won't even say the name to refer to the play, only if you're in the scene saying the dialogue itself.
Yep.
The Scottish play, but I thought you were putting on Shakespeare's Macbeth.
Don't say that. Oh my. Oh dear. I was ad-libbing when I said that, but she really freaks out. Oh dear, you said it. Don't you know you must never say the name of the Scottish play aloud? It's terribly bad luck. You'll die. This play has always been haunted by tragedy and mishap. Theatre people believe that you'll bring bad luck upon yourself just by quoting from it. Unless, of course, you're rehearsing your lines. It may be just a superstition, but it does seem like accidents and bad luck surround every production of this play. Oh, I see where this is going. Why, just the other day, our director, Dr. Wilde, fell from the stage as she was helping arrange a sword fight. She might have broken her leg.
Then maybe it was good luck that she didn't.
Perhaps so, but I'll keep hold of my lucky charm just in case. Uncle Basil, was he? Well, yes, Camilla, I do think you're up to it. It's just that. What, Basil? What exactly do you mean? You can't agree with this dreadful miscasting, I'm sure. It's obvious that Emma's too immature to play her. Lady Macbeth is one of the grandest, most evil, most challenging parts in the history of the theatre. Why, the girl's never been anything but second chambermaid from the right in any stage production so far. The role of Lady Macbeth calls for depth, insight, range, the kind of experience that I could bring to the role.
Maybe it's her. Maybe this is the accident that's waiting to happen.
It could well be. Yep. Well, you are her understudy. Yeah, here we go. You are her understudy, Camilla. Who knows? Perhaps you'll be able to perform one night if she falls ill or cancels out or falls down a flight of stairs and breaks her neck, killing her instantly. That's not my point, Basil. Of course I'll go on if she has some sort of accident. I'm saying that it shouldn't have to come to that. An actress of my stature and experience belongs to the spotlight. Not huddling around a cauldron, muttering about eye of newt and toe of frog and hair of bob and feet of dog. I don't know. Honestly, Camilla, I think Third Witch is a lovely part. It suits you. I mean, it's very challenging. Now, really, I must practice my lines. I want to be prepared enough to perform the finest Macduff in Stratford history. Leave me alone. I gotta get ready. Hello, Uncle Jake. Come to see our rehearsals? Watch yourselves now. There are a lot of dangerous items behind the scenes at the theatre.
Mostly the employees. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I think you do. One false move up there on the scaffolding, and any number of accidents could happen. Why, our stage manager Chelsea was messing about up there yesterday and very nearly fell to her death.
Yikes.
Yikes.
We'll be careful, Mr. Friscora. Are you excited about the play?
Yes and no. I'm afraid I'm a bit worried. You see, this really is my first lead role, and I'm a bit nervous that I'll spoil it somehow. You know, forget my lines at the last moment, trip over my sword, miss a cue. The pressure's enormous. Sometimes I wish I'd never auditioned for the part. I'm sure I'd be much happier painting a nice watercolor of the sunset on the River Avon than thrashing about on stage as a Scottish murderer.
Okay, so we have two actors,
That want
apparently, possibly kind of inexperienced, and when we have their understudies, both of which want to take their places.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
We're going to go to Victoria Station, which will take us to Stratford. Have the instruction manual ready because it might ask us about train platforms.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to take me a minute to set up, so go ahead.
The minibuses are only for the cast and crew of the play, so we have to take the train. Let's take a look at our map and see if we can find Stratford. Then we'll be able to join Uncle Basil. So the map is actually me. Alright. So, let me pull up my map. So you're the instruction book, I'm the map. Let me get my map up.
Alright, hang tight a second. I'm trying to find where I put that file.
So I'm going to go to the map.
What are you doing?
Oh, wait a minute. This is the back side of the map. I didn't save the back side of the map. Let me go back to the listing.
Did I not download it? I guess I didn't download it.
All right, let me pull the other side of the map. If you see me in my
You're
eBay,
talking about
yeah.
Hey Evie, for the thing you're talking about, that link I sent you the other day, right?
No, I'm talking about the map that's on eBay.
Oh, so you're pulling that up?
Yeah, you have the instruction book. I have the map.
Okay, yeah. But we do need the instruction book, or we don't?
Not for this one. This one is a map question.
Okay, all right.
So I'm pulling up the map.
Let me know when we need that, and I'll
all right.
Pull it up.
So are we going north or south? London is here. Stratford's upon here. We're taking the northbound train. Stratford is north of London on the River Avon. We'll need to take the northbound train. I've always wanted to see where Shakespeare was born. He's the most famous playwright in the English language.
Okay, I have the thing up if we need it, just in case. Stratford upon Avon lies at the heart of Shakespeare country. The birthplace of William Shakespeare, this picturesque Tudor village remains barely touched by time. Swans glide on the lovely Avon River past the Royal Shakespeare Theatre and... Gotta be quicker on the page transitions.
Yes. Sorry, I was lagging up a bit.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just giving you a hard time. And the Holy Trinity Church where the bard is buried. The house on Henley Street in which Shakespeare was born has been carefully restored. It's said to be the most frequently visited historical birthplace in the world.
Looks like Uncle Basil's acting troupe is setting up for their play tonight. But where are Mr. Friscura and Miss Finley? Okay, something's happened here.
A shambles. This entire opening is a shambles.
What's wrong, Dr. Wilde?
They're dead. They're dead. My actors are dead. What's wrong? What's right? My two leading actors are stranded in London. Half my props are stranded with them, and my stage manager is off wallowing in literary history.
Whoa, what happened?
I've no idea. All I know is that our second minibus, the one carrying Mr. Friscura and Ms. Finley, has broken down. Now it's too late to get them here for dress rehearsal. It's a disaster. I'm almost ready to believe in the curse of the Scottish play. I suppose I'll just have to use the understudies to fill in the lead roles. Heaven knows they're prepared.
It would be Frescura and Finley whose coach breaks down. They're both utterly hopeless with machinery. If only Ned had been with them. The boy's a genius with automobiles. Do you know he restores antique cars as a hobby? So he knows his machines. Okay. And he knows how to make them stop. Out, damn Spot! Out, I say!
Excuse me?
Hello, Jake. I'm just practicing my new lines. Now that Emma's stuck in London, it appears I'll have to take over her role. Frankly, I think it's for the best. The poor dear was a bit skittish. Now, where is that Chelsea? Is she still out researching a paper on Shakespeare? She's supposed to be our stage manager. I need my costume refitted for tonight.
Oh, so this is Anne Askew. Anne Askew is back, but she's in costume now.
Okay. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Oh, hello, Jake Uncle. Just Jake Uncle, sorry, comma. Just going over my lines. I played one of the witches.
You sure look the part. Why isn't Mrs. Wren in costume too?
Well, it looks as though she won't be a witch after all. Emma's trapped in London, you see, so Camilla, as our understudy, is going to have to take her part. Sorry. It seems that someone removed the distributor cap from the minibus carrying Mr. Frescura and Miss Finley. Now they won't be able to join us here for the dress rehearsal. It's Ned. It's Ned.
Wow,
It's
what
Ned.
bad luck. Do you think it's part of the curse of the play?
No, it's freaking Ned. Bad luck, my foot. This was sabotage. Distributor caps don't just fly off by themselves. Someone took it, and it wasn't a ghost either. The question is, who? It's a shame. Man, I keep getting choked here. It's a shame that Frescura and Finley will have to miss the dress rehearsal. That means they're out of their parts for the run of the play. Oh. Dr. Wilde has a strict policy that whoever plays a role at dress rehearsal plays it for every performance. And they would have known this. I'll bet Mr. Frescura at least is a bit relieved. He was very nervous about having such a big part. If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it done. Bleh. Let me try that again. If nobody said Shakespeare was easy. If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly.
What was that?
Act 1, Scene 7. Macbeth is plotting to kill his friend, the king. Ye gods, I love this play. He just said the M word. Macbeth, he said it again, is torn between his honor and his ambition. He really doesn't want to be evil, but at the same time, he sees his big chance to be king, and his wife keeps pushing him, telling him he can do it.
So he kills his friend? What a creep.
Sounds like that's what's going on behind the scenes, actually.
Exactly, and that's only the beginning. By the end of the play, the stage is strewn with the bodies of the victims of his ambition until he himself is killed. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really must do something about my armor.
This road leads to Shakespeare's birthplace. The whole town of Stratford-upon-Avon is full of Shakespeare stuff. He was born and married here and lived here after he retired. I can see why. It's a beautiful place.
I've heard that's actually very lovely.
There's Chelsea. I wonder if she knows that everyone's looking for her. She's also a recurring character. I think she's one of Nigel's friends also in some of the other mysteries.
Okay.
Hello, Jake, Uncle. I'm just collecting some notes for my paper on William Shakespeare. Fab luck that the troupe decided to stage our play here in Stratford. I'm finding all kinds of stuff here. This is the house that Shakespeare was actually born in. It's been restored to look just as it would have when he was alive back in the late 1500s and early 1600s. Can you imagine what it was like to live back then? In those days, Elizabeth I was the Queen of England, and Sir Walter Raleigh was trying to set up the first colonies in America. There wasn't any running water inside houses then, or refrigeration, or telly or radio, of course. The one way people entertained themselves was by watching plays. Shakespeare's plays were very popular. He wrote 37 in all, and hundreds of poems. I bet you've heard of some
Man, I am tripping all over this tonight. I bet you've heard some of his characters, and you may not even know it. Heard of some of his characters. God, there's words. You read them. Ever hear of Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, Othello, Puck, Donny Bob of Dorsey? These are all names of characters in Shakespeare's plays. He was such a marvelous playwright that people still love to listen to his plays, almost 400 years later. It's the iambic pentameter, that's what does it.
Yeah, Shakespeare's cool. We saw A Midsummer Night's Dream in school. It cracked me up. But Chels, do you know that Dr. Wilde and everybody are looking for you?
Oh dear, I lost track of the time. I have to get back. The dress rehearsal's about to start. Hello, Jake. Hello, Uncle. Expiring? Expiring? All this talk about death and dead kings, and I say expiring. Exploring Shakespeare country, are you? I was just helping Chelsea collect her notes. She's just brilliant. I could follow her around all day. Awful bad luck they're having with the play. I was just talking to one of the actors about it over by the minibuses before we left. He said this play is historically plagued with bad luck. Even as we were talking, he almost fell prey to it himself. His hands were covered in black grease, and he came this close to wiping it all over his porter's costume.
It's Ned.
It's Ned. Yeah.
The garden outside Shakespeare's birthplace is filled with different herbs and flowers. In Elizabethan times, the herbs from the garden were used for cooking. The guidebook says that this building where Shakespeare was born was built over 500 years ago. Probably closer to 550 now.
Yeah, this game's quite a ways old.
The walls are made up of twigs mixed with plaster, a building material called wattle and daub, and the dark stripes up and across the house are actually the timbers holding it together.
Ah, yes, Wattle and Daub, the famed comedy duo from 1970s BBC. I remember them well.
Are they a real thing?
No.
Some of the houses that were built in Elizabethan times had thatched roofs made up of sticks and reeds. Houses were heated by fireplaces.
Yeah, the famous comedy duo from BBC's 1970s.
Houses were heated by fireplaces in those days, so people had to be very careful that sparks didn't fly up the chimney and set the roof on fire.
Oh, that would suck.
All right, I think we have everything we need to know here. Yeah.
I think so too.
The first clue is talking about how Ned Bassett plays the porter.
He plays the porter,
and he's the understudy.
That's important.
We know Camilla's a red herring at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Not that. Emma Finley's on that. Nope. Maybe. Yeah, that eliminates them as suspects. Genius Obvious. Yep. Oh wait. The last one. Yes, the last one. Dressed as the porter. Yep. There we go.
It was Ned.
I'm gonna vote Ned.
And there's no doubt about it. Hopefully he gets kicked out for his treachery.
Never trust a man named Ned unless his last name is
You
Bailey.
got it. There may be a theater superstition about bad luck following the play Macbeth, but it wasn't bad luck that sabotaged the minibus.
No, it was Ned.
Miss Askew told us that the minibus broke down because someone removed an important part of the engine, the distributor cap. Dr. Wilde told us that Ned Bassett is a whiz with cars. He'd know exactly what engine part to remove to make it impossible for the bus to run. Ned Bassett wanted to play Macbeth, the lead role in the play, but instead he had to settle for playing the porter, a very small part. Mr. Friscora was cast as Macbeth, but Ned was his understudy. If Mr. Friscora wasn't able to perform, Ned would get to take the lead role. Marcus Dare told us that he saw an actor dressed as the porter out by the minibus with grease on his hands. Ned was the actor cast as the porter, and he had grease on his hands because he had just removed the distributor cap from the second minibus. He let his ambition get him into trouble, just like Macbeth.
For the record, distributor caps are usually dusty, but they're not greasy because they don't use. They have grease inside of them, but to remove the distributor cap, you wouldn't necessarily get grease on your hands. But that's nitpicking. Friscora's Take two. Frescuro's Macbeth, a smash hit. Opening night for Dr. Dahlia Wilde's production of Macbeth in Stratford-upon-Avon this weekend was a raving success. Mr. Alfred Frescuro played the Scottish king with rare style. If it hadn't been for Uncle Evie, admitted Frescuro, my understudy might have taken the role from me. The production had been plagued by the legendary bad luck of the Scottish play, as superstitious thespians call it. But when a minibus carrying the two leading actors was sabotaged, the young American detectives dug up enough evidence to force a confession out of Frescuro's ambitious understudy. Like Macbeth, Ned let himself be ruined by his own ambition, explained Dr. Wilde.
Do we want to go on?
Yeah, let's keep. These are fun.
I mean,
I'm rather enjoying this.
We're less than 2 hours in. I know you sometimes go for hours. I'm good for a while, but I'll probably need water again after the next one.
All right, yeah, let's do another one and see where we'll just do a little wellness check, so to speak, after each one. But this is pretty fun. I'm enjoying these cases. They're cute. This is very charming.
And tonight's dictated by your hard stop because I don't have one. I don't have plans till Sunday.
Yeah, I've got stuff to do early morning tomorrow, but I mean I can go at least another couple hours. So.
All right, let's see what's next. The case of the lyric larceny.
The lyric larceny.
The case of the lyric larceny.
And actually, doing more than 3 per session means we don't have to drag this out to 17 episodes. We can get the series. Yeah. We can run the series quicker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I assume they're going to get more tricky as we go along.
Well, when we go into the second case book, the mysteries do get harder. So those are going to take a little bit longer than the ones in this first book.
Okay. Yeah. We'll just play it by ear. Excuse me. Pardon me.
It's Nigel.
Uncle. Yeah. Hi, Uncle and Jake. You seem quite good with clues and such. How are you at finding lost things?
Pretty good. I forget my stuff all the time, so I get lots of practice at finding it again. What have you lost, Nigel?
I haven't lost anything, but my friend Astrid has. She's lost a song.
Astrid is another recurring character who you'll see several times.
Wow, tons of people in this.
Well, Nigel has a lot of friends, and so do Miranda and Basil, so...
They're just friendly people.
Yeah. Song? How can anyone lose a song, Nigel?
I'm not sure, but Astrid has, and she's gone all emotional about it. Can you help her out? She rang me from the Wax Museum.
Which means we'll probably see Dunbar again.
Yep.
Right you are, Nigel. Come on, let's hustle.
I don't remember how to do the hustle. At one time in my life, I knew. Doing the hustle, on the bustle. We're on the bustle, doing the hustle.
Okay, no Miss Dunbar, just Astrid.
All right.
Astrid is a few years older than Nigel. It's neat that they're friends.
Friends.
Thank heaven you've come. Nigel said you'd help me find my song. I wrote a new song for my band, Stiff Upper Lip, in my little red notebook, but now it's gone.
She's a punk. She's totally a punk. I'm digging it.
I was in the British Museum at lunchtime looking up information about Queen Boadicea.
Did I say that right?
I've seen it pronounced a whole bunch of ways. Boadicea, Boadicea, Boadicea. I mean, pronounce it however you want.
Boadiceo.
The Latin teacher in my high school called her Boadicea. And she's from...
It looks like it should be like an Italian pronunciation.
Yeah, basically the idea is Queen Boadicea was queen of an English tribe, well, a tribe that lived in the land that is now England when the Romans came over and took over England. Okay. So this was pre-monarchy days.
All right, I'll go with Boadicea. That looks like it should be right.
The song's all about her, you know. I last saw the notebook in the Greco-Roman room.
Astrid, who is Queen Boadicea?
Why, she's a British hero. Long ago, she led a revolt of the British people against the Romans. You can learn more about her in the British Museum. Hint, hint. I can't imagine who would be so crummy as to lift my notebook. Unless it was Regina. Her band, Tone Deaf, is competing with my band in a big audition tomorrow.
It's definitely Regina.
Maybe you should talk to Jules, our keyboard player. He knows Regina pretty well, I dare say. He's off busking in Covent Garden near the office of our agent, Miss Drumright.
Busking? Oh yes, playing music on the street for money. How about Regina? Where can we find her?
Try the old Vic. Tone deaf practice there sometimes. Oh, and have a word with old Jeremy, our band's biggest fan. When we're not on stage, he hangs out at the Sherlock Holmes pub. Yeah, I like her with a more Cockney thing going on.
That's a lot of running around. Let's take a look at our map of London and see which way we need to go to get to Covent Garden. I'm pretty sure it's east. I know it's east because we've been to both places before so far tonight.
So the voice balloon covered up half the map. That's kind of hard to pick a direction. That's all right though.
Well, no, it doesn't intend for that to be the map you use. It intends for you to use the poster map that came with the game.
Oh, gotcha.
The map that, luckily for us, just happens to be on eBay for $12 right now that I downloaded the photos of. So we're going to take the eastbound bus to Covent Garden. And then we have a bunch of other places to go to as well.
When, excuse me, when we're done here tonight, send me the link to that map. I want to look at it.
Hey, if that's Jules, he plays pretty well. He's also a recurring character, I believe, but not as much as some of the others.
Let's see. He's a young band member kind of guy. When Astrid told me she had lost the new song, I was down and glum. That song was our best chance to win the audition tomorrow and go on tour with that great band. Not quite cricket. I'd do almost anything to be in the band that wins the audition. God save the Queen. I guess it would be God save the King now.
Well, at the time this game was written, at the time these characters would have been talking, it was the Queen.
It would have been God save the Queen. Yep. Our other songs won't win because we haven't practiced them enough to be really good. At least that's what Miss Drumright, our agent, said at lunch today. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to make some more money before I call it a day. Strum, strum, strum. Sing, sing, sing.
A sign over this door reads, Cat's Feet Music Agency, Violet Drumright, Agent.
Wait, so he's busking outside his agent's office? That's funny.
Miss Drumright, we're detectives on a case. Astrid lost her notebook, which had her latest song written in it. Did she? Good. She spends too much time writing songs. Oh, wait, this is you. I'm sorry.
Well, no, if you want to, go ahead. It's up to you.
No. I just got ahead of myself there. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
My head phased for a bit, and I just kept reading. I didn't notice characters switched. I'm sorry.
No, that's totally fine, dude. All good. He spends too much time writing songs. I tell her time and again, don't write, play. But does she listen to me? No. Regina's band, on the other hand, plays a lot. That's the ticket for success. I had lunch with Jules today at noon. I told him to make Astrid practice more often. He said he'd try.
Excuse me for staring, Miss Drumright, but did you know your hair is the exact same unusual color as Astrid's?
Oh, yes. We all get our hair done at the same place. Leopards on Quaint Street. Is that Quaint?
Quaint Street, yes.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Just tell Mr. Charles that Violet sent you. I've used the word quaint a lot, but I don't know that I've seen it written out very often. It just looks like an odd word.
We've still got a ton of places to check out. We're going to Sherlock Holmes pub first.
On the map. Oh, we're in a hansom cab. Oh, we're in a hansom cab. And now we're at the pub.
That must be Jeremy over there. Let's see what he has to say about Astrid's missing notebook.
Man, there's so many people in this, it's hard to make them sound different.
Astrid's notebook? Why she drops all her song ideas? Listen, mate, I'll give you £5 for it, no questions asked. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
£5? No, look,
You're supposed to say 5 pounds of what? I'm an American.
He's
Okay,
American. He's not an idiot. He has English cousins and relatives. He knows the lingo.
No, I'm saying I'm an American.
Okay, 40 then. 50. Listen, I collect everything that has to do with stiff upper lip. I must have that notebook for my collection.
But we don't have it. It's lost. We must find it and get it back to Astrid. It has a new song she wrote in it about Queen Boadicea.
Well, I'm the only collector of stiff upper lip souvenirs, so when you do find it, just come to me. I'll pay you handsomely and give the notebook back to Astrid myself. Yes, Astrid.
So he doesn't have the notebook, but he's a
No.
suspicious character.
He's very odd. Yes.
All right.
It's cool to have obsessed fans, though. I think up to a point.
All right,
I
we're going
buy
to go to
everything
Old
they
Vic.
sell.
We're
I
going
buy
back to the
everything they
theater
sell
yet
every
again.
time.
I told you the theater was a popular place.
It is.
Wow,
And
there's
we're at the Vic.
we're
They're doing
interrupting
Rocky
one
Horror.
of Tone Deaf's practice sessions. I hope they won't mind.
Oh, more people.
Well, you only have to look. There's only one speech bubble. I don't know if the other
Okay.
characters blurt in for a line or two, but this is the only one who's really relevant, I think. Regina, we're
it's
friends of Astrid's. We wondered if you knew anything about a red notebook of hers. It's missing.
Let's see. Nancy Spungen. Let's do this.
Oh, but I don't know anything about it. Hey, wait a minute, love. Astrid doesn't think I took a notebook, does she? I'd never, because then it had jewels. And I wouldn't want to do anything to hurt my Julie Wooly, now would I? Now, we must practice. We have a big audition tomorrow. Ready, Tone Deaf? Hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Uncle, did you notice? Except for their hair color, Regina and Astrid look a lot alike.
They look an awful lot alike.
Are they sisters, maybe?
Either twins or something funny with hair. I don't know.
Let's do the museum research last,
Yeah.
because I think this is one where the people are where the real clues are, and the British Museum clues
Yeah,
are red
Quaint
herrings.
Street. Yeah, I think we definitely want to go to Quaint Street. This has something to do with hair.
Yeah.
I'm on a bus, on a bus, on a bus, 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 bus. Now we're on Quaint
Whatever
Street.
happens, don't let Mr. Charles color my hair purple or green or pink or red,
Okay.
yellow, green, brown, scarlet, black. Oh, all right, I'm getting off the topic.
Okay, we have to now come up with an image of him with pink hair.
Welcome to Leopards. Now, will this just be a cut, or would we like to put a little colour into our lives?
Yikes, no haircut, please, and no color. Just some information about Astrid and Regina. Miss Drumright, I mean Violet, sent us.
All right, then. Astrid and Regina, being show people, both have their hair coloured and styled here, because I'm simply the best in London. Astrid started the violet hair craze. Regina used to have purple hair, but this afternoon she wanted it jet black for her audition tomorrow, so I made it so.
Let's go to the
I'm
British
thinking that.
Museum.
I'm thinking that's a clue right there.
It's a clue, but I'm still a little bit confused. Let's go to the British Museum.
Going to the British Museum, and we're taking a bus sitting next to the same guy every time.
Thousands of people pass through the British Museum every day, but if somebody just picked up Astrid's notebook by mistake, they would have returned it. It had her name and number in it. I think whoever took Astrid's notebook did it on purpose. Excuse me, sir. Have you been painting here for a while? It's Fresco again from the last case.
Yeah.
Yes, for weeks. Actually, this is my third canvas. Didn't like the first two, you see. Paint got too thick.
Did you happen to notice a woman who was here at noontime with a red notebook?
Ah, the young lady with the purple hair. Of course I noticed her. Got an eye for colour now, don't I? I saw her and her sister, too.
Mm-hmm.
Sister? But Astrid doesn't have a sister.
Well, another woman with purple hair came up behind her right at noon. I thought she was going to say hello, but she didn't. Just snuck away again. Passing strange, I said to myself at the time.
An exhibit in the museum tells the story of Boadicea, who became queen of the Iceni tribe of Britons in 60 AD. At that time, Rome ruled Britain.
Boadicea is kind of hot.
Actually, I have a Lego minifigure that could pass for a Boadicea.
Really?
Yeah,
What is it supposed to be, like, actually?
like a Viking barbarian warrior woman.
Oh, that's perfect. Cool.
Because Boadicea was a woman, the Romans didn't respect her as the queen. They mistreated her horribly and took her lands for their own.
I hope she killed a bunch of them.
In response, Boadicea led a terrifying revolt. The Roman town of Londinium, now known as London, was flattened, as were Colchester and St. Albans. It looked as though the Romans might have to flee Britain.
Dang.
But a Roman army defeated the Britons, and Boadicea took poison rather than be captured. Today she is remembered as an early example of the courageous spirit of the English people.
Do not make Boadicea mad.
I think that's everything we need to know.
That's hardcore.
So he said let's just go somewhere and solve this thing. Let's go back to Astrid and solve the mystery in front of her.
Ah, very nice. Okay.
Because I realized I was back on the map. I wanted to make sure there were no more flashing diamonds. But you can only get to the machine if you're in the place, not on the map.
All right.
All right. So,
let's see.
Astrid thinks Regina stole the notebook, and all we have to do is just pick the other things that point to Regina.
Yeah.
If Regina had hair colored like Astrid's, they would look a lot alike.
Yep. Well, Jules said he would do anything. I wonder if he... I don't know. Let's keep going.
Mr. Frescora said a woman came up behind Astrid and then walked softly away. Looked a lot like Astrid and had the same hair color.
Same color hair, yep.
Mr. Charles says Regina dyed her hair black this afternoon for her audition. It used to be colored purple like Astrid.
Yep, that's the one.
We are going Regina on this one.
I think so, yes. You dirty, dirty, naughty Regina.
You got it. Regina swiped Astrid's notebook at the British Museum. Our first big break was an eyewitness. Mr. Frescora saw a woman with purple hair like Astrid's come up behind her at the British Museum right at noon. That would seem to be Miss Drumright, but she couldn't have done it. At noon, when the notebook was stolen, she was at lunch with Jules. But then we learned that at noon, Regina also had purple hair. She just colored it black this afternoon. Remember what else Mr. Frescora said? He said the woman who snuck up on Astrid looked like her sister. We saw ourselves how much Regina resembles Astrid.
BBC World Service. Time now is 11:37 p.m. Actually, they would say, welcome to
and one more minute. In one more minute, it's the secret Star Wars reference.
True. Joining us now, BBC World Service. The time now at the tone will be 11. See, I messed it up again. 23:38. Boop. Stiff Upper Lip signs contract. An up-and-coming local rock group called Stiff Upper Lip today signed a record deal with Metronome Records. The group wowed the crowds with an original song about Queen Boadicea, which they dedicated to Uncle Evie and Jake Eagle of the Eagle Eye Detective Agency. The two young detectives managed to locate the song's lyrics after they'd been stolen by the lead singer of a competing band. On stage, Stiff Upper Lip's mesmerizing lead vocalist Astrid yelled "Hail to the detectives" and roused a hip hip hooray before launching into Queen of Rage. Tone Deaf, another popular London band, was disqualified from today's competition. Too bad Regina blew Tone Deaf's chances by trying to cheat, said Astrid, or they might be signing with Metronome today too.
Okay, I don't have to pee this time, but I do want to get some water real quick.
Okay, yeah, I need some water as well. I've got a soda here, but it's not doing well with my voice. So.
All right, so same deal as before. I'll go into splash screen, and I'll also take, for your signal, I'll take this into splash screen, and then we will reconvene when I come back, and that'll be your cue that I'm ready to go when I'm back on the screen.
All right.
Sounds good.
I do. I do, yes.
And I'm still coming back up myself. I need to check something real
I
quick.
see your browser.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I heard you come through on the mic and
Yeah.
thought you were up.
Yeah, this will be
Am I
good.
doing this later?
Yeah. No, I had to check
There we
that.
go.
I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing out on anything, but it looks like the work's gonna be up all
Okay.
night. So I've already pulled a good amount today. So whatever I can do after stream is just bonus at this point. So let's get back into
Gotcha.
it.
All right.
All right.
Let's
I
do
think
this. This is enjoyable. I'm digging this.
I've gone back to the studio. I'm back in the game on my browser. Back. Can you confirm that you see the game tab?
1 second. I'm getting some Windows set up here. Can I get just a quick audio test from you, real quick? Just say something.
Something.
Keep saying something for a few seconds, though.
Something for a few seconds, though.
Okay, that'll work. Okay, and what were you asking me? Sorry.
All right. Can you confirm that you see the game?
I do see the game, yeah.
All right. So
Yeah,
let's go into here. I'm allowing the game to capture my mouse again. Case
There we
of the Vaporous Victorian.
The Vaporous Victorian.
Oh, by the way, I don't remember specifically most of these cases. I do remember Tiger's Trail is the next McCavity one, so I do want to at least get through that one.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. I'm down. This is good. This is
But
fun.
we have Vaporous. I mean, we don't technically have to play them in order, but we
Yeah,
got a
let's just
good
keep
thing
going
going.
over. It's fine.
Case of the Vaporous Victorian.
I'm trying to get your voice a little bit up in my mix. Hang on just a sec. Okay, hold on just a moment. Trying to fix some things here, audio-wise. Okay, give me a mic check from you real quick.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right.
It looks like Basil
Okay.
is talking now.
I may have had you a little quiet for the rest of the show. I'm not clear just yet. I'll watch it later and take notes what to do next time. Jake, do you and Uncle enjoy a good ghost story?
Like the ones in your book, Bleak Spirits? You bet, Uncle B.
Uncle B. Grand, because I need you to star in one. An acquaintance of mine, Lady Edna Saltcoats, called from her estate in Sussex. A ghost is haunting one of her guests there in Malford Manor. I need someone to investigate straight away.
Yikes. If we hurry, we can get back by tea time, Uncle Basil, and we'll have a great story for your next collection. Come on, grab a jacket, and let's hustle to Victoria Station.
Oh, but you said the T word, so we must have tea first. Glug, glug.
Now, I think he quite clearly said we will have tea afterwards.
No, we must have tea now. Tea.
Victoria Station, we're taking the bus.
I don't even like
Station,
tea,
look
so...
up.
Well, that's an exaggeration. Matcha's alright, but I have to be in the mood for it. We're going to Marfold Manor to meet Lady Edna Saltcoats. Uncle Basil phoned ahead to let her know we were coming.
British people
Marfold
have
Manor
phones?
is in West Sussex. To get there, we take the train south to Brighton. Let's go. So we didn't have to do any fancy lookups with documentation that time. On the advanced... In the advanced cases, they make you do a lookup like on pretty much every time you go to the train station once we go into the second book.
Okay. Oh, this is me.
She's also a recurring character. We see her often when they need an aristocratic character.
Who was Edna? Dame Edna. Do you know who Dame Edna is or was? I think they're still
No.
around.
No.
It was a English actress, I guess is the right word. I think it was actually a guy in drag. I'm not for sure about that. I don't remember now. Just Dame Edna rings a bell. Anyway.
It's splendid to see you, Uncle and Jake. Welcome to Malford Manor. I'm so glad you could come. With this ghost affair, I'm just about at my wit's end. I have 3 girls staying here as my guests, the best 14-year-old tennis players in all of England. They teach at a summer tennis camp up the road.
For those watching my stream, if there's anybody there still, can you post how the audio mix is? Like if something's too loud or too quiet or something like that, I would appreciate that. If it's not too much trouble. But today one of them, Kelly, is quite upset. She claims she's heard her great-great-grandmother talking and that she's seen her walking in the garden. I think she's on drugs, but I don't know. Now Kelly seems determined to give up tennis altogether. I believe that it's because she thinks her great-great-grandmother, Lady Winifred, told her to. But children, Lady Winifred's been dead for 100 years.
Please tell us everything you know about what's been going on, Lady Edna.
Kelly Apgood came to me and asked me if anyone was walking in the garden the night before, dressed in a Victorian gown. Of course, the answer was no. Then this morning she came to breakfast quite upset. She said she decided to give up tennis upon the advice of her great-great-grandmother. Well, this was a fine kettle of fish. She told me just a little about her great-great-grandmother, Lady Winifred Apgood. Seems she's a black sheep in the family. She left the family in disgrace in 1880, never to return.
Where is Kelly Apgood now, Lady Edna?
The island of misfit toys. I wanted her to get away for a bit. All the girls went to London to have a holiday. I looked for them at the Oval Cricket Ground. They love to watch tennis there. Watch tennis at the cricket ground. Wonderful. Okay. That's not confusing. And would you dears do me a favour? Check up on my friend Mr. Dumont at the British Museum's library. I've run him about the matter, and he's reading up on everything he can find about Lady Winifred Apgood.
Among the papers on the table are a holiday coupon book and today's mail. Look, Uncle, someone tore out 2 coupons for free admission to the Natural History Museum. Maybe we can find Kelly Apgood there. And here's a letter from Jeremy Apgood, addressed to Catherine Boyd. Who are they, Lady Edna?
Well, Jeremy is Kelly's older brother. Kathy Boyd's one of the tennis stars staying with us. I wonder why they'd be writing to each other.
Teens in love, maybe?
Maybe. Kelly Apgood said she saw the ghostly lady Winifred walking in the garden. Perhaps we can find a clue out there.
Uncle, this is Julia Beeswing, Lady Edna's friend and housekeeper. Good morning, Julia.
Let's see, Juliet Beeswing. Good morning, Uncle and Master Eagle.
Julia, we were wondering if anything unusual happened in the garden a few nights ago.
Oh, nothing unusual, Master Eagle. A girl trampled the snapdragons, that's all. Lateralis, hey, what's up? How you doing? Looking forward to
Sugar.
A girl did? How do you know, Julia, if I may ask?
The awful Mastodon news? No, I did not hear the awful Mastodon news. 1 second, Evie. Let me pick up on this for just a sec.
What's going on with mastodons?
Brent Hines is out. Oh my God, what happened? I'll have to look this up later and get more details. No, I had not heard about Mastodon.
What's mastodon? I thought they were like an ancient Ice Age elephant or something.
No, it's a kind of a hard prog rock band that I like.
I wouldn't know anything about it.
Yeah, I've seen them several times. They've got a couple of their records. They're pretty good. Oh, that's too bad. Man, I wonder what the deal was. I'm going to continue on with the story here. Just a quick FYI. This is an old DOS game from... no worries. Thanks for letting me know about that. I did not know, and my phone's on silent, so if there's anything that's been sent, I have missed it. But we're doing an old DOS game tonight. This is a major throwback. It's Eagle Eye Mysteries London. It's a point-and-click kind of a thing with a friend of mine named Uncle Evie. He's... actually in another state. That's funny thing to think about. But
What?
but yeah, I'm doing lots of crazy British voices, and some of them better than others. But anyway. Oh, it's my line. Tennis shoe footprints, Master Eagle among the shattered blooms.
You know that there have been ghostly goings on here at the manor, don't you, Julia?
Master Eagle, if I may speak freely, all three of these girls are under some strain. They'll soon compete against each other for the All England Cup. The pressure may have forced one to do something she'll later regret.
I wonder if she knows something.
Let's go back to London and find the three girls and learn what we can.
I'm on a train going to London. I'm on a train and
Wait
I'm
a
reading
minute.
a book.
Without even going to meet the girls, I'm going to guess Kathy Boyd because she's been corresponding
Okay.
with Kelly's brother. So she would know about Lady Winifred and the family history if she had brought it up.
Maybe. Could be. All right, so we're leaving the train station then, and we've got
3 places to go see.
yeah.
Starting with the British Museum, because that's what I happened to click on.
I'm on a bus. Take a good hard look at
So-
the double-decker bus.
This isn't Mr. Sneed. This is the rich lady's friend. See that?
I want to do Mr. Sneed again. Yeah.
Well, he's in most of the cases. You'll have plenty of opportunities to do
Yeah,
him.
Okay.
See that man over there by the historical records? That's Mr. Dumont, Lady Edna's friend, waiting for us.
Is this the only one that he's in?
I'm not. Well, Lady Edna recurs a couple times, but she's not a terribly common character. So I'm not sure if a lot of characters who are one-offs in the first case book will then have be a one-off again in the second case book. I don't think there's any true 100% one-offs. There might be, but I'm not sure.
They pop up.
Yeah.
Okay. See, Dumont's a French name, or Dumont. Man, I don't know if I can do a French accent. I've been gathering information about Lady Winifred Apgood, Kelly Apgood's great-great-grandmother. That's poor German. But it's been quite a struggle. The Apgood family seem to be very, how you say it in English? I was on the right track. How you say it in English? Traditional. Kelly's parents will say only that Lady Winifred left the family in disgrace. That's all. They are most stubborn.
How can someone leave a family? When you're related, you're related. Jen and I can't just get mad at each other and decide not to be sister and brother anymore.
What? A coma? Oh, okay. Sorry to disrupt the stream, but I've got to look this up. This is like a thing with me. Dang it. Give me 1 second.
Meanwhile, for those of you who are on my stream, I have secured the Lego set that I had planned in advance to do for the first weekend of spring. So look forward to that one in about 2 weeks. It's a really nice set.
Oh,
It's-
thanks, Chief Havuk. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. All I'm seeing is a thing on Reddit, so who knows? Yeah,
Oh.
I'm not seeing. I'll look it up later. But thanks for the heads up on that. I appreciate that. And by the way, hello. Let's see, where am I at? 100 years ago, that was not the case, especially here in England. If you did something that brought shame on your family, you might leave your hometown forever. They might think of you as a stranger instead of as family. That's the worst French accent ever. The Apgood family is still treating Lady Winifred as a stranger, even after 100 years. I finally get the full story from Mr. Jeremy Apgood. It seems Lady Winifred could not tolerate the rules for women of Victorian England. She loved buildings and gardens and wished to be an architect. At the time, this was unheard of. A woman who wanted to be an architect? Her husband said never. So she packed her bags and left, never to return. The family assumed she died penniless in London. But I find that is not true. In these records, I see she took a boat to America in 1901 and attained great success as a landscape architect. She even worked with Julia Morgan, the great architect who designed and built Hearst Castle in California. I keep lapsing to German, I don't know why.
So Lady Winifred Apgood did what she wanted and was very successful, but none of her family members know it.
Funny how that works. Yes, that is right.
Even if you believed in ghosts, there's no way Winifred Apgood would come back to tell Kelly to wimp out on her dreams. She'd be cheering for Kelly, telling her to go for it. Uncle, this ghost story sounds flimsier by the minute. This history book says that the years from about 1850 to 1900 are called Victorian times. Let's have a look at our chart of kings in the Eagle Eye Handbook and see why. That's your instruction book. I just got the maps.
Oh,
Well,
so I need.
well, actually, you don't because it's a dead giveaway. It's a multiple choice question with a dead giveaway. Who ruled
Okay.
England during the last half of the 19th century from 1850 to 1901? It's called Victorian times. It has to be Victoria.
Queen Victoria. Yeah.
That's right. Queen Victoria ruled England from 1837 to 1901. That's why we call those days Victorian times. So
Okay,
yeah,
hold
England
on.
England has a thing with long living queens apparently.
Yeah, definitely. Hang on one second. Chief of Oak is saying, found an article that says the coma was in 2007 and he was not the same after that. I've heard of stuff like that happening. The thing I saw on Reddit was talking about how he had been pretty vocal with being dissatisfied with the band, but I didn't read it, so that was pretty much all I picked up from it. But I've heard about stuff like that where people have traumatic medical events and come back and are not the same person afterwards. So
I see. I have a chatter named Chief Havoc. Hi, Chief Havoc. Your name looks familiar. Have you been to the stream before? Or maybe I've seen you in Brett's stream because I usually write into him, but that's not going to happen tonight because we're streaming together.
yeah, we sort of what's the word? Mod podged up a
Oh yeah, Lego stuff.
post stream.
Yeah, I still do the Lego stuff. Um, but this I do have. I'm not doing my normal Saturday Lego stream this week. I'll be doing a game stream instead because I've been falling off on the game content. I've been doing too much Lego, so I'm doing Planet Zoo tomorrow, and Monday for Mario Day. I'm gonna do something Mario. I'm not sure if it's Lego or a game. But let's get back to the mystery, shall we? Queen Victoria ruled England from 1837 to 1901. That's why it's called Victorian times.
Imagine that.
100 years ago in Victorian England, there were strict rules for men and women. Men were expected to work and provide food, clothing, and housing for the family. Women were expected to maintain the home and care for the children. People.
Hang on a sec. Chief of Oak says last time I was here, you were doing Dr. Jones drunk with a friend. Yeah, that would have been Unbalanced and myself. That was a great friggin' game. I don't know if you saw how many of the episodes you saw, but wow, what a fantastic game that was.
People who didn't want to fit into these roles were looked down upon. Women in particular were often forced to leave at home if they disagreed with the Victorian ideal of what a woman should and should not do. Victorian society enforced these roles so strictly that women could not even write professionally. When Mary Shelley wrote the classic novel Frankenstein, for example, she had to submit it anonymously without her name on it in order to get it published.
This is true.
Men from wealthy families, on the other hand, sometimes became so removed from family affairs that they would only see their children on certain days at certain times when the children might sing or recite poetry. All other times, the children would stay in a separate part of the house. Gradually, the rules of Victorian society came to be seen as overly restrictive and unfair, although the Victorian images of the commanding, unemotional man and the sensitive, fragile woman still persist. People who think that women can't write obviously never read Aunt Miranda's stories in the London Times.
So just a quick program note. I'm streaming again tomorrow night with Unbalanced. We're starting a playthrough of Red Dead 2, and it's probably going to take us an entire year. That's going to be the Saturday night stream. Excuse me. The Friday night stream is probably going to be either, depending on our schedules, either this or I may start a playthrough of Avowed. I love that game. It just came out a while back, and I've got it, and it's fantastic if you haven't played it. It doesn't have the depth of something like a Red Dead 2, but it's still quite fun.
There's a chance I might stream Temple at Home next week too. In which case, which is basically because we have a Jewish holiday this week, so they're doing a special program on Thursday, and I don't like going out every day. It's a lot of, especially with me in my current condition, it might be too much to go out every day. So if I'm watching the Friday service at home, we can certainly do more of this if you want.
Cool. Is it what's the holiday? Is it Yom Kippur?
No, that's in the fall. No, it's Purim.
That's right.
Purim is like the big carnival holiday with the triangular cookies and lots of noise and kids dressing up. It's basically the Jewish Halloween.
Celebration type thing. That's cool. All right. Chief Havok posted, back to your room, peasant.
All right, so let's go to the History Museum, and then we'll go to the cricket ground. And it looks like it's one of these place blurbs. So.
Yeah. That was a reference to, not to the Jewish holiday, just to clarify that. That was a reference to the treatment of women. Anyway, the marvelous cathedral-like buildings of the Natural History Museum were built in 1881. It houses impressive examples of dinosaur skeletons and many rare and fascinating specimens of species extinct and living.
All right. Yeah. All right.
It's a dinosaur.
Hold on. I seem to be lagging up a little bit. Shit, what's going on here?
Maybe you gotta click again.
No, it looks like the emulator froze. I'm gonna refresh the browser. If I have to restart the case, well, we've already seen everything up to this point, so I'll just do a quick click through to get back to where we were and put everything back in the Travis.
Do you need to copy the URL or is it okay? Play 254. Yeah, looks like it was locked up.
Yeah, I rebooted the tab and it looks like things are starting up again now. Is it showing correctly on your end again?
Good old DOSBox, yeah. EA Kids.
All right, so we're in Uncle Evie. We're using Jake.
Chief says, been a while since I played DOS. I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago. That's why when it came up and it was DOSBox, I was like, good old DOSBox.
All right.
All of the old.
So I'm just going to do a quick click through to get back to where we were. And
the Sierra Online games. That's what I was thinking of. So it does start. We are started in the right case at least, right?
Yeah, we are in the right case, but it restarted us all the way from the beginning. So I have to go back to the manor. Basically, I'm just putting all those clues back into the Travis. Yeah.
Oh, the OG Elder Scrolls is something that Evie was big on for a while. I guess. Are you still
not the OG Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. And yes, that's still a thing on my channel.
I still kind of consider Morrowind OG. That was where it first really, I think, took off.
Well, there was Arena and Daggerfall, and then there were a couple of unnumbered games, Redguard and Battlespire, and then it was Morrowind. All right, that's everything there.
Morrowind is the fave. Yep, Morrowind was so ahead of its time. It was so good. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but there's
still an active modding community for Morrowind. Not as much as it was back in the day, but it's still a thing.
My first job when I was at Bethesda, I worked on Elder Scrolls Online for several years, and that game it's just going to keep going. It's nuts how big it is now, how many people are playing it. How much stuff, just sheer stuff. You could sit and play the thing 16 hours a day and go to sleep and play 16 hours again the next day and do that for like a year. You would still have content to go. They've got so much stuff in it.
We were going into the museum. We hadn't gone to the cricket ground yet, right?
What's that?
We were going into the museum. We hadn't gone to the cricket ground, right?
That's correct, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so
there's a very large modding community for it. Every time you say Morrowind, someone reinstalled.
There are two of Lady Edna's house guests. The one on the right is Kelly Apgood, who thinks she's seen a ghost. The one on the left is Catherine Boyd.
Oh man, two women. I'm so.
And they're teenagers.
I really don't want to talk about this. It's rather personal. Sure, tennis is lovely fun and all, but lately I've come to think it's not really any proper pursuit for a young lady. My great-great-grandmother thought she had a special talent too, but it brought her nothing but trouble, and now I feel she's been trying to tell me not to make the same mistake.
But Kelly...
But nothing. My mind's made up. Now, good day, sir. You get nothing. You better leave Kelly alone. She's pretty troubled about something.
I'm just gonna do her as SpongeBob. I don't care. It's fun.
She reminds me... You know who she reminds me of? She reminds me of the high school pictures of one of Mom's friends.
I can see that, yeah.
There is a resemblance there.
That sort of look there, maybe, yeah.
Catherine, do you know anything about what's upset Kelly so much?
Not really. It's a family thing, I guess. But I don't know anything or anybody in the Hapgood family except Callie.
We know otherwise.
She just told me that she heard a voice late last night. A spooky voice.
Okay, this is not a good SpongeBob. Hang on. I gotta get in the mindset here.
She just told me she heard a voice late last night. A spooky voice. It said it was her great-grandmother Winifred, and it said, "Don't be like me. Go home."
Creepy. If that voice wasn't really a ghost's, it had to belong to someone who knew a lot about the Apgood family and the story of Lady Winifred. How else would someone know just what to say to upset Kelly? Now we got to go to the cricket ground. Because there's still one more girl, and there's still the matter of the brother. And we haven't met them yet.
Riding on a bus to the cricket ground. Riding on a bus in a London town. Yeah.
Alright.
Here's one of the tennis stars who's been staying with Lady Edna. Her name is Rebecca Locke. She's another teenager.
Oh, so many characters. Alright.
Hello, Rebecca. We're friends of Lady Edna's. Are you here to watch some tennis?
I might make this one really annoying. Let's see.
No, I'm here to get some practice. I'm not like Kelly Hapgood, see? She never seems to practice. But if I'm going to do well at the All England, it's practice, practice, practice.
Funny story. She looks like the high school pics of another one of Mom's friends.
Yeah, and she actually looks nothing like the voice I'm doing. But, oh well.
We heard Kelly Apgood was thinking about giving up tennis altogether.
Well, she shouldn't. She's a natural. Everyone knows she's the one to beat to win the All England Cup. I think maybe she's just tired of tennis, or scared of losing, so she made up this ghost story to explain why she's going to quit.
Tennis is one of the world's most popular games. It can be played outdoors or indoors by two people called singles or four people called doubles. One of the great events of tennis is the All England Lawn Tennis Championships, played on the grass tennis courts of Wimbledon in London. Tennis has become a truly international sport, with top players coming from all over the world. I like tennis, even though I keep hitting the ball into the net. Jennifer and I are pretty evenly matched, which is all you need for a good game. Okay, so we didn't actually...
I was just going to say, one summer I got really good at tennis, like just out of nowhere.
Okay, so we've been everywhere.
To go to a place that has tennis, and like it was it was like a campground we used to stay at that had a tennis court.
There's no more flashing diamonds. We need. There's no more flashing diamonds. We do know that Rebecca respects Kelly as a player and doesn't want to shut her down. We also know from the notes back at the manor that Catherine was in fact talking to Kelly's brother. So she would.
My mom played tennis and she was really good, and we played tennis against each other, and then I got good, but then we never went back to the place. Okay.
All right, let's take a look at these clues because I'm still not 100% sold on this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I've paid
All
no
right.
attention.
Catherine Boyd and Kelly's brother Jeremy are writing letters to each other. That's the only way that Catherine would have access to the family history.
That's true.
One of the tennis stars, we know it's one of the tennis stars because they left tennis shoe prints.
Good. Yep.
They will soon compete against each other.
Yeah. I don't think it's the first one.
The Apgood family is very strict and won't talk about family matters with strangers, except for Jeremy, the brother.
Yeah.
We don't even need to meet him to know he had a hand in this.
Yeah. Catherine Boyd knows about Kelly. Well.
Okay, we haven't picked exactly the correct clues.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're starting over on the picking. All right.
Yeah. So it's
so it wasn't one of the tennis stars walked in the garden.
well, no, we do know it was one of the tennis stars, but that might be like an extra clue. It wants up to 5 specific clues. I fell into this trap in the olden days with a few of the cases, and I had to kind of puzzle it out. We know they're writing letters to each other.
Mm-hmm. Kelly Apgood being the favorite to win, would that establish a motive somehow?
Maybe, but let's.
I don't know. That's not really a concrete piece of evidence, though, I don't think. Yes, that one. It was really the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects Spanish Inquisition. Our primary weapon is surprise. Actually, it's surprise and...
I don't remember the rest of the speech.
Bring forth the comfy chair.
I remember that.
Maybe it's. We know about the connection of Catherine and Jeremy, so we need those clues.
Yeah, it's that for sure. But right there, the last one. Yeah.
All right, but we need more than that, apparently.
Yeah, so it's not. I think the Jeremy one is stuck us on that one. One of the one of the tennis stars walking in the garden might have something to do with it.
No, we're still not there.
Yeah. Start over here. Okay, let's look at this. Let's go through these a little more slowly because I'm not having time to read these when you click them. Someone walking in the garden. Okay, I'm gonna say click that one. The writing letters to each other. Yes. Hang on. Okay, wait. Turn off the first one. Can you unclick the first one? Yeah, click the third one. Yeah. All right, then go to the next page. Stars thinks this may have made one of them do something foolish. Maybe that one. Not the second one. Not the third one. Click the first one. Maybe. Okay, keep going. Okay, it wouldn't be the first one. Wouldn't be the second one. That one, probably. Yeah, the older brother. So she heard a voice, but she's thinking it's her great-grandmother, so not that one, probably. The last one.
All right, this is a tricky pile of clues.
Dang. This one's rough.
I have to believe that the 3 clues regarding the brother are relevant here.
So how many clues are there altogether? 9.
There's we get to pick 5.
Right, but how many clues are there altogether? I'm seeing 3 right there.
6, 9, 12.
12. Okay. See, you were paying more attention to the actual case than I was. I've just been doing goofy voices. Oh, you got it.
Catherine denied knowing anyone except Kelly. When Catherine denied.
Oh, knowing anyone except Kelly when you were talking to her, but we've got letters.
Yeah, and not only that, but
The brother. Yeah.
but I think she, if I recall correctly, she mentioned it without us bringing anything up that about the family. So it's Kathy.
All right, let's go with it.
You got it.
There you go.
That was no
Awesome.
ghost
Okay.
that Kelly heard. It was Kathy Boyd trying to get her to give up playing tennis. We quickly figured out that this wasn't a real ghost. Real ghosts don't leave sneaker prints all over the flower garden. One of Kelly's 2 tennis friends was trying to make her drop out of the All England Cup tennis tournament. Why? Because she was the one favored to win. But which tennis star was doing it? Whoever it was must have known the Apgood family story about Lady Winifred. But Mr. Dumont said it was really hard to find out anything from the Apgoods. He finally had to talk to Kelly's brother Jeremy. But we knew he wasn't the only one to talk with Jeremy. We saw a letter from Jeremy Apgood to Catherine Boyd. He must have told her about Lady Winifred. And Catherine Boyd got a spooky idea. To use a voice from beyond the grave to make Kelly drop out of the tournament.
Yeah, the Monty Python movie. A few years back, I got a box set thing of Holy Grail, and it came with a little plastic catapult and like cows and chickens, like little plastic cows and chickens. And
Hey,
stuff.
this is your part.
Time for more. Yeah, I know. Hold on. Time for more Valheim while I lurk was building for 4 hours straight early. Needed a break. Yeah, that'll drive you nuts, man. I'm down with that. I get where you're coming from. All right. Kelly Apgood takes tennis cup. The explosive Welsh tennis ace Kelly Apgood defeated Londoner Rebecca Locke 6-4, 4-6, 6-4 to win the All England Cup. Kelly dedicated the victory to the memory of her great-great-grandmother, Lady Winifred Apgood, and to 2 American acquaintances, Uncle Evie and Jake Eagle. Uncle and Jake made this victory possible, Kelly said, because they are cool, level-headed detectives who search for the truth. The detectives discovered that old family stories about Lady Winifred, which had been used to discourage Kelly's dedication to tennis, were untrue. Despite the disapproval of her family, Lady Winifred went and found her dream as a landscape architect, end quote, Jake explained. Kelly says she plans to continue with her tennis and eventually become a tennis instructor, a plan that now seems to have found quiet support in the Apgood family. African or European?
That little fish in the scrapbook, it was just a reference to our visit to the museum. It wasn't relevant to the case.
Wait, I don't know.
Let's do the tiger one and then see how we feel.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, and
What is your favorite color?
I distinctly remember this case. Obviously, I don't remember all the details, but this is like one of maybe 3 cases that I have a distinct memory of. Although the others have brought back memories too. So yeah. But this is the one. This is the one that, looking at the title, I distinctly remember what it was about.
Yeah, go ahead and start it up, but give me 1 second here.
What is your favorite color?
Red. No, blue. Okay, go ahead.
Case of the Tiger's Trail.
Oh, it's not the tiger's tail, it's the tiger's trail.
We're starting with Nigel here.
Nigel, I think, is one of my favorites.
Jake, Uncle, have you heard? It's all over the news. A rare Sumatran tiger cub's been stolen from the zoo. They say it's being held for ransom.
Wow, let's get over there. Maybe we can help find it. You know what I'm thinking? This is the 5th case in the main case book. Maybe we can make this a 10-episode series and do 5 per.
Yeah, maybe so. Nigel Thornberry. Oh, there's.
We are going to the London Zoo, which apparently is famous for pandas.
I need to watch some of that again so I can do some of those voices. I never tried to do like voices and stuff back in the day. This is all since I've kind of been older.
Mr. Potter, The zoo director looks really upset. Let's see what's going on.
His name is Blodges.
Blodges. Well, no, this is Blodges. He's another Scotland Yard detective. He works with Gage, who you met earlier.
This is obviously the work of that copycat McCavity. This time he's really gone too far. He'll go to any lengths to embarrass the Yard. The criminal mind is as twisted as a maze, Jake. Who knows what reason McCavity had to steal that tiger cub? The note that he left just adds to the confusion.
Note? Can we see it?
Of course. It was found in the back of the transport truck that was carrying Pasha. The guards swear the cub was in a carrying cage in the back of the truck when they left Gatwick Airport, but when they arrived here, all that was left was the note and a few small drops of urine.
Cleveland Brown and the Slug.
Now here's Mr. Potter. He's the zoo director.
My name is Cleveland Brown, and I am proud to say I'm terribly. Oh, this is a different guy. What should I do for his voice?
He comes up whenever the zoo appears.
Yeah, he's going to be Australian. He's going to be like a Steve Irwin. I'm terribly worried about Pasha. She's only 8 months old and needs very special care.
Who's Pasha? A baby?
A very special baby. A rare Sumatran tiger cub. She's one of only 650 Sumatran tigers left in the world.
Ooh. This case might actually tie in with my stream tomorrow. I'm playing Planet Zoo tomorrow.
Oh, well, there you go. Mr. Potter. Let's see. Trying to think of how they would say that. What scoundrel would take her? Tigers aren't like the house cats, you know. When they're in captivity, tigers need to be looked after by specially trained professionals. I can't tell you how furious it makes me that some thoughtless, selfish person stole her. Sumatran tigers are so very rare. They're an endangered species, and beautiful, so beautiful, hunted nearly to extinction in their native country. He is angry, very angry. Part of the zoo's goal is to help prevent species like this from disappearing forever. We join other zoos in breeding programs so that we can help rebuild the wild population of rare and endangered species. And then we can have shrimp on the barbie.
Remind me to tell you a fun Disney Animal Kingdom story at the end of the case.
Animal Kingdom. All right. Some species would be extinct already if it weren't for zoo breeding programs. If the last animal of a type dies, that whole type of animal's gone forever. That's why it's so important that we don't hunt or kill endangered species, but instead protect them and the places they live, so their families will have room to live and grow. Pasha's one of the last of her kind. Her mother was shot by poachers for her beautiful fur, so we brought Pasha here where we could look after her. Without the special care she received here, she would have died. But now, just when she should be safe, someone's stolen her. We must get her back.
The
from the land down under.
The cage that Mr. Potter prepared for Pasha, the Sumatran tiger cub, is empty. The sign in front of her cage has a photograph of the cub and some information about tigers. Pasha, rare Sumatran tiger cub, Panthera tigris sumatrae, native to the island of Sumatra in the Indian Ocean, severely endangered by hunting and the encroachment of man on its natural habitat.
Gesundheit.
No, that was a burp, not a sneeze.
Gesundheit means good health, so it's good for anything. Please continue.
Pasha was given to the London Zoo by the government of Indonesia after her mother was found shot to death by poachers. The island of Sumatra is part of the nation of Indonesia.
She's like a tiger version of Bambi.
Kind of. It is the hope of London Zoo officials that Pasha will grow up to take part in the international zoo breeding program and thereby help to increase the world's Sumatran tiger population. Oh, I get to read this note.
Not much to say.
The note is made of letters clipped from magazines and newspapers. It reads, "Tiger, tiger, taken flight from its keepers in the night. Where's the kitten with the cat? Decide which one and get her back." It's some kind of poem or riddle. Big cats, little cats, up and down. At only one will the cub be found. Crack my scattered code feline, or consider your little tiger mine. The bottom of the note has some little symbols on it. They're signs cut from brochures or maps or something. There's one from the Ritz Hotel, the British Museum, and Trafalgar Square. Those must be the locations the note talks about. I actually have a microscale Trafalgar Square in Lego. Well, it's obviously some ridiculous cat and mouse game he's playing. Oh, wait, this is you again. I'm sorry.
Okay. God, I'm burning through all these voices so fast. I'm trying to remember how I did this guy.
Well, it's obviously some ridiculous cat and mouse game he's playing. I'll take no part in it. Scotland Yard will not be mocked by some egomaniacal, overgrown monkey.
But Portia, we must find her. Who knows what the fiend will do with her?
We'll help track down Pasha, Mr. Potter. That way Scotland Yard doesn't have to get involved. Let's go. The game's afoot.
Sherlock Holmes reference. I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map.
So we're going to start at the Ritz Hotel. This will be our first appearance of the Ritz Hotel so far this game.
Trust the good and fisherman.
I can't imagine any lions or tigers running around here. I wonder what connection this place could have to cats. Maybe they have a pet cat as a hotel mascot?
Does anybody remember those commercials? The Gordon Fisherman.
All right, this is a hotel receptionist kind of guy.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna make him an American, just to be different. Well, I don't know the name Herrick or Merrick. Is it Herrick or Merrick?
Herrick. It's an H.
It's still very Englishish.
No, we don't keep any cats here at the Ritz, though some of our guests sometimes do. There's old Caspar, of course, but he's not a real cat.
Who's Casper?
Well, the friendly ghost. Did you not watch television as a child?
Sorry. He's rather a good luck charm of sorts, a bit like our version of a four-leafed clover or rabbit's foot. If you're the superstitious type, that is. You see, back in, about 1898, there was a grand dinner served here in our great dining hall. There were 13 guests in all, an unlucky number in some people's minds. Anyway, story has it that the first guest to leave the table was killed shortly afterwards. I suppose it gave the Triskaidekaphobes a right scare.
Trisco what?
Triskaidekaphobes, people who believe that number 13 is bad luck. You've heard the old wives' tale that Friday the 13th is ill-omened. Well, some people think everything to do with 13 is unlucky. They may have been right about that particular dinner party, though. At any rate, shortly afterwards, the hotel commissioned a sculpture, Basil Ionides, to carve a great big cat out of wood. Now, whenever we have a dinner party for 13 guests, we invite Caspar too, so there are 14.
That's pretty clever, actually.
We serve the old moggy a full meal, soup to nuts, and so far so good. In fact, I got him out just now for the Phaeton Club's dinner this evening. Not that I'm superstitious myself, but no harm in a little preventive charm, I say.
A portrait of Sir Walter Raleigh hangs above the chair where Caspar is sitting. I remember reading about Sir Walter Raleigh in school. He was a famous explorer for Queen Elizabeth I. He sailed all the way to America to start colonies in the New World.
A quick note, I am not sponsored by Liquid Death. I just drink a lot of it.
Caspar the cat is about 3 feet high and is carved out of dark wood. There appears to be a note tucked in the napkin around his neck. Check it out, a note just like the one in the tiger's cage. The note reads, "Symbol of an empire, above all others, is the noble cat you must uncover. Tomorrow at noon, if I am he, your cub at the hotel desk you'll see. Symbol of an empire above all others." I know which cat is the correct one, and it's not this one.
I want to butt in for a second here and respond to something. I also enjoy their mission and aesthetic, Death to Plastic. I'm all about that, and I am a huge fan, and I have so much of their crap. A quick little program note. Probably not. It's not going to be this week. It's not going to be tomorrow, but probably 2 weeks from tomorrow, or maybe 3 weeks, depending on how we do with Red Dead, and kind of where that leaves off. I have sitting in the corner here a case of like 24 different liquid death varieties, like all the different ones, including the new root beer, the new cola, the new Dr. Death. I don't know if you tried that; it's fantastic. It's like Dr. Pepper, but they're sparkling waters. They're much better for you. They use agave for sweetener, which is very nice. But regardless, the point of all that is just to say that Unbalanced and I are going to do a stream where we taste all the different varieties of liquid death. I think I have everything. There may be one or two that I think I need. There's a blueberry one that I still need to get. I think, but we've got like everything else. And one more thing, I have 2 cans left of the original Alps water that they originally came out with, and we're going to taste test those against the current product. So, just an FYI. It'll be in my Blue Sky post and stuff, and it'll be on the Twitch blur and all that.
On the subject of taste test streams, I kind of tried starting to put the idea in Glenn's head of doing a massive Mission Barbecue taste test where we try each of the 7 meats with each of the 6 sauces. No word on when that might be, though. Probably that's going to be a spring or summer project.
That would be good. Barbecue is fantastic.
Also, I don't know how both of us would cram 42 pieces of meat behind my little studio table. We would have to come up with some accommodations or something. Well, we'll figure it out. That's what it's going to be a while. Maybe a summer thing. Barbecues are very much a summer tradition.
Nice.
Anyway, let's go to the British Museum and meet our second cat.
On a bus, on a bus, on a
And
bus.
guess what?
Hey,
Your friend Sneed is back.
Sneed. Nice.
You two again? Looking to rummage through my precious archives for some fact or other, I imagine.
Well, yes, I'm afraid so, Mr. Sneed, if it's okay.
And I suppose you'll want me to search high and low for everything I can lay my hands on about cats,
But how did you know?
I do watch the news. It wouldn't take a genius, although I am one, to deduce that you two would be hot on the trail of that feline felon McCavity. Now go and have a look through the research I've gathered for you. And leave me alone. As you can see, I have work to do.
Thanks, Mr. Sneed. You've come through again. We've got a whole bunch of things to look at here.
Yep.
A book on London sites has a chapter on Trafalgar Square. It says the square was dedicated to Admiral Nelson, who fought and died at the Battle of Trafalgar, leading the British Navy to victory against Napoleon's fleet. A statue of Nelson tops the huge column in the center of the square. 4 bronze lions, sculpted by Sir Edwin Landseer, lie at the foot of the column. The lions symbolize the power and majesty of the British Empire, which once stretched around the world. A book about ancient Egyptology talks about the lion-headed goddess Sekhmet. The ancient Egyptians believed that Sekhmet was the daughter of the sun god Ra. She was believed to be a very powerful protector against evil spirits and a conqueror of the sun god's enemies. Look, there are statues of these goddesses at the British Museum. We could walk right through that door to the Egyptian Antiquities room and take a look at those statues ourselves.
Well, that's cool.
A natural history book gives detailed information on cats of all kinds. Domestic and wild cats all belong to the biological family Felidae, from which we get the word feline. The domesticated tabby cat is actually quite closely related to the great lions of the African plains and the tigers of Asia.
There's a video on YouTube where someone took a lion's roar and also some tigers and it didn't speed them up, but he raised the pitch, and they sound just like house cats. It's really weird.
All cats are carnivorous, which means they eat meat. Large wild cats like lions hunt antelopes and zebra to live. These animals need large areas of wild territory to survive. When people take over the plains, forests, and jungles where the great cats naturally live, the population of herd animals and other food sources is reduced. So the cats have less and less to eat and fewer places to hunt.
That is true. This game came out in, what did you say,
1993.
Yep.
Many of the great cats, like tigers, are now endangered by hunting, and man's destruction of their natural habitat. Hunters and poachers sometimes kill these beautiful animals just for excitement or to sell their skins and teeth on the black market.
I am not a fan of that.
Some species of cats are already extinct, gone forever, like the Bali tiger and the prehistoric lions who roamed Britain during the last ice age. The bones of some of these prehistoric lions were found under the exact spot where the famous Trafalgar lions now stand. This room leads into the British Museum itself. Somewhere in here must be one of the cats McCavity talked about in the note.
All right, let's go check it out.
The Egypt room. This is our first appearance of the Egypt room. It's in a couple of cases.
Cool.
The Egyptians were really into cats. Because they fed and cared for the wild cats in their temples, they were the first people to make cats into pets. Aaron is another recurring... there's a lot of recurring... These are people on the street kind of people who show up occasionally.
Okay. These old Egyptian thingies are brilliant. Utterly brilliant. Magic. Curse of the Pharaoh, you know. Might get up and wander out at any moment. Pyramids, mummies, hieroglyphs. Could stare at them till we were bonkers. Stark raving. Partial to the statues myself. How's about this in your front room, Uncle? A little bit of Sekhmet with your tea? My mum would go round the twist. And back again. Symbols of an empire, though, these old gods. Still standing while the old kings who worship them are dust. All wrapped up in bandages like Boris Karloff. Phew, gives me the willies just thinking about it. Let's go have a go at translating these hieroglyphs, Aaron, mate. With you like glue, Felix. Once we've mastered them, we'll use them to write notes in Crichton's class. That'd be Crichton? Well, there's no H. Anyway, that'd stymie the old squint.
The statue of Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess, has a note on its lap. The note reads, "If ever again your cub you would greet, you must look for the cat at the seaman's feet. Tomorrow at noon, if that cat is I, at the museum gate, the tiger you'll spy."
Giggity.
And you know I knew the answer to this one already, which is why I saved that place for last.
Yeah. Just saw the video of the last Tasmanian tiger again haunting
Just so you know,
I
I did playthroughs of this game like twice in my life. So even though I don't remember all the cases by title, once we get into them, memories do flood back, and I can kind of guide it so we end up like at the solution in the final place we go to.
All right. Before we continue, a couple of comments that you might find interesting. There's some very gross There's some very gross history about those mummies, and I don't mean how they were made. People in Victorian days used to eat them as miracle medicine. Also used to be an old paint called Mummy Brown that was made with ground up mummies, which is why they're so rare today. Jeez. What color are we gonna go with? Oh, I'm thinking mummy. Okay.
Well, I'll paint my wall Deddy color then.
Yeah, exactly. That's so strange, and really disrespectful too when you think about it. Trafalgar Square lies at London's heart. The 185-foot central column supports a statue of Admiral Horatio Nelson, one of Britain's greatest naval heroes. It would be heroes. The square commemorates his 1805 victory at the Battle of Trafalgar.
All right, that's it for that blurb. So,
oh my God, the last time they made Mummy Brown was the 70s, not hundreds of years ago. Oh, jeez.
Wow, look at all these pigeons. There must be thousands, and those lions must be the cats we're looking for.
I'll imagine that's right. Jack Davies. Admiring his lordship, are you? That's our Nelson, you know. Up there on his column all these years, never complained. A great seaman, Nelson. Brave and true. Lost an eye and an arm in His Majesty's service and still led the fleet to victory. The battle this square is named after Trafalgar. That was his last. Died on his ship, defeating Napoleon's fleet.
When was this? You sound like you knew him.
Knew him? I am him. No, this was in the days of the Great Empire. 1805 he died. But a seaman knows a seaman. And all of us Navy lads have a place in our hearts for old Horatio.
The great lion statues at the base of Nelson's column are huge, about 10 feet high and 15 feet long. They are made of bronze. Look, one of the lions has a note stuck between its paws. The note reads, "Find the noble cat, the son of Landseer, or the precious cub may never appear. Tomorrow at noon, if I am he, at Nelson's feet the tiger will be." AKA right here, which is why I intentionally came here last.
Yep, so we can do the solve. Very good.
All right. All right. These clues are not relevant. Sekhmet is not relevant. Sir Edwin Landseer sculpted the lions to lie at the feet of Admiral Nelson, a great leader of the British Navy. The lions are a symbol of the British Empire. The correct cat is at the seaman's feet. The symbol of an empire. That's Casper's note.
There was something earlier about symbol. There was another clue about symbol of an empire.
The correct cat is the son of Landseer, a.k.a. the sculptor.
Yep. Very good.
We want the Trafalgar Lions.
Yep.
McCavity's note told us that the clues to finding Pasha would be found in felines at the Ritz, Trafalgar Square, and the British Museum. At the British Museum, we found a clue on the statue of Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess of ancient Egypt. That note told us that the cat we were looking for was at a seaman's feet. Casper, the Ritz Hotel's lucky 14th, held another clue for us. This one said the correct cat was the symbol of an empire. The huge lions at Trafalgar had a clue for us too. Their note said the right cat was the son of Landseer. The research that Mr. Sneed did for us at the library helped us put it all together. Sir Edwin Landseer sculpted the lions at Trafalgar Square as a symbol of the once great British Empire. They surround the statue of a great seaman, Admiral Horatio Nelson. The cat we were looking for was one of the huge lions of Trafalgar Square.
You know, the cases, the way they're structured in this, that it kind of, they keep referring to like British landmarks, and we keep going to these famous places. It makes me think a lot of the Sherlock show that was on BBC for a while. It's a good show. Got another comment. He definitely knows his sea men being out at sea for months with mermaids. Nice. Rare Tiger Cub returned. BBC World Service. The time will be 0:46 at the tone. Rare Tiger Cub returned. Pasha, a rare Sumatran tiger cub, mysteriously disappeared Monday from a zoo transport truck. Equally as mysteriously, she reappeared at noon yesterday in her transport cage in the middle of Trafalgar Square, where zoo officials awaited. Mr. Potter of the London Zoo today thanked Uncle Evie and Jake Eagle for their invaluable assistance in recovering a rare Sumatran tiger cub that had been stolen from zoo officials in transit. Quote, Uncle cracked the code that led us to Pasha's whereabouts, end quote, gushed Potter. Quote, I can't thank him enough. Without his aid, Pasha might have been lost forever, end quote. Rumor has it that felonious feline codenamed Macavity may have had a hand in the tiger's theft. Quote, no comment, end quote, said Inspector Gage of Scotland Yard. We're just pleased to see Pasha back in safe hands.
And I think with that, that's 5, I think. Let's just count them up real quick.
Yeah, let's look real quick.
Sherlock Holmes, Shakespeare, Lyric, the Victorian Tiger. Yeah, that's 5. I think 5 is, at least for the first case book, I think 5 is a good place to do it. So the next 4 episodes, we'll be doing this case book. And then when we get to episode 6 and we start the second case book and the cases are a little more difficult, we'll evaluate when we get there.
Scroll down just a bit. I want to see how many are in this.
25 per case book.
25? Oh, okay, so 5.
That's where I got the number of 51 total before when I said it was going to be 17 episodes.
Gotcha. Okay.
But if we're going to do 5 per instead of 3 per, at least for now, that'll cut down on the number of episodes and the amount of times we need to plan for. Now, like I said, if I have planned outings on Sunday. Sunday I have the party. Tuesday I have a doctor's appointment, and then we have the event at Temple Thursday. If I go to the event at Temple Thursday, after all that, while still in this healing process, I might not want to go Friday, in which case I'll have time to do this again next week, if you want to.
Yeah, we'll coordinate. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing this again this week. This is pretty fun. I don't know. It's 12:45 our time. I don't know. I kind of feel like doing another. If you want to go ahead and call it, we can. I know it makes the math work out right, but I
Well,
usually go
here's the
for
thing. We did an extra case this morning. We had those technical things to work out, and that first bit, the tutorial case, took us a while. So it kind of skewed our numbers on how long 5 cases would actually take us.
That's
So
true.
we don't really have a solid calculation on that until I go back and watch the playback. If you want to go on, that's fine, but I need to take a little water break if we're going to
Okay.
do that.
Yeah, it's up to you. If you want to take a break and come back and do one or two more. I wouldn't want to do more than two.
Yeah.
But I definitely would be down for
Yeah.
two more if you
All
want.
right. My stream counter says we've been doing this just over 3 hours. Knowing how much time each of those 5 cases took us, if we do 2 more, that will round us out to an even 4 hours, I think.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, yeah.
So
That would be pretty good.
we're gonna have Crumbling Castle and Pilfered Phone. I'd be okay for 2 more. It will mess up the
Okay.
math. It means that when we get to the end of this case book, we'll probably transition to the harder cases in the middle of an episode. But who really cares about math when you're having fun?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like you just go with it, and however it works out is how it
Yeah, the
works out.
playlist will
So
be the playlist will be however many episodes it is. Like my Lego Mario playlist, I think is like 15 videos, but it represents like 30 something sets. So
yeah.
who knows? There's no accurate math when it comes to having
Yeah.
fun.
Well, that's like when I did the Indiana Jones streams. The last stream that I did on that was the actual ending of the game, and that's all I had was the ending of the game. So it was over kind of quick. It worked out all right, but anyway, yeah. If you want to do a quick 5 minute break again, and
Yeah.
let me get another one.
But if we do 2 more, that will have to be it because
Oh yeah, yeah.
I am gonna
Yeah.
start fading in like an hour, and I still have to do all my post stream video backups and all that. But yeah,
That's totally fine.
let's
But,
take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll
Alright.
do 2 more.
All right, that sounds good. In that case, I'm going to go on break, and same as before, when you come back, just flip your screen back over to the game. Go ahead and flip it to the title. There we go. All right, cool. All right, and I'm going to go on break as well, and we'll be back in just a bit.
All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. Hey, is everything back up on my end? I... Brett, are you back? Okay, I'll just talk a bit. So yeah, we're probably going to do some tigers in the zoo tomorrow, now that I'm thinking about them. Uh, but I want to play through at least the scenarios in Planet Zoo that are labeled tutorial first. I know there's at least one more advanced tutorial scenario. And then we'll see if we want to play the regular scenarios after that, or if we just want to get started with the zoo. But that's tomorrow night. Actually, it's past midnight here, so that would be technically tonight. Look forward to that in a few hours. And we'll just wait for Brett to get back so we can wrap up these last two cases for tonight. And actually knowing what we know about how long the cases take.
Thing. There we go.
Ah, there you are.
Yes.
You
Can
know,
you hear me?
I was thinking, since we won't have the training case next time, that took up the length of like 2 standard cases, at least as far as this case book is concerned. We might even be able to do more cases next time.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, I mean, 4 hours is about your standard format, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
And my standard format, it's for Lego, whatever the Lego set takes, and for games, there is no standard. So my streams are all over the place in terms of length. So, but yeah, I think your standard might be the best way to do it. As long as we're not like we get to the final episode and like there's 2 cases left. No, if there's 2 cases left, we may as well stay up and finish it the previous episode.
Yeah, once we get closer to something like that, we'll do the math on it, figure it out. Balaam's here, right, buddy?
All right, let's get into these last 2, and that will get us finished right about the 4-hour mark, I think.
All right, go ahead and start it. I'm going to give him a treat real quick. Go ahead.
All right, so the case of the crumbling castle. We get to do castle stuff for this next case. I like castles. Don't you like castles? You're starting with Aunt Miranda, by the way. All right, we're just waiting for Brett. All right, there you are.
Yes, sorry about that. I had to give a treat. All right. Let's see. He may or may not want demand affection after having said treats, but Chief Havok says he's currently building one. I think I missed something about the. You're probably talking about Legos.
Yeah.
I bet.
I don't see the chat on your stream because I only have 2.
I know. Yeah, that's why I was bringing it up. Yeah. All right. So, what did I do for her?
Heads up, Jake and Uncle. I've got a top secret case that you won't be able to resist.
What's up, Aunt M?
Ha, Auntie M.
Mr. Sneed, the head librarian at the British Library at the British Museum, just called. He just received an ancient scroll that may prove that a real King Arthur was born at How do you pronounce that? Tintagel?
Tintagel, Tintagle. I've heard it a couple different ways.
I don't think it would be Tintagel. I think it's Tintagel. I bet. I'm gonna go with Tintagel.
Tintagel Castle.
King Arthur? Cool. I always thought that he was just a legend.
Chief Havok clarified. He's building a castle on Valheim.
Sometimes the legend has its footing in facts. If this turns out to be the real thing, I'll have the scoop of the year. Sneed's an old chum of your Uncle Basil, so he called me first with his news. No one else has the story yet, so be careful not to spill the beans.
Let's go check it out.
Or the bangers and mash. What are you doing, Salem? Oh. just sort of having a spasm that he's
Oh.
doing the whole cat thing with this.
We are going to have the train platform on this case after the initial consult, so we should be ready with our map and guidebook in case we need it.
Right.
Uncle Basil got here before us. He loves a good story. I bet he's cooking something up for one of his novels.
Hello, Jake, Uncle. Your Aunt Miranda asked me to come down here to see what stories I could dig up on King Arthur. Funny topic. Wonder what she wants with all these old tales. The Arthurian stories are set in the distant past, but they're not really history. They're legends, tales that may or may not be true, handed down by storytellers and dressed up by writers in later centuries. They're lovely stories, full of magic and adventure. It'd be marvelous if they were all true, but legends are almost always just terrific tales, not real historical events. Hey, buddy. Your American tales of Paul Bunyan are legends. There may have once been a lumberjack named Paul Bunyan, but it's highly unlikely that he was 50 feet tall and had a giant blue ox named Babe lumbering about with him. The tricky part's separating the kernel of truth from the mountain of fiction. Sometimes historical heroes and heroines become so famous or popular that many exciting stories are woven about them. Just because some of the stories are made up, like a story of King Arthur pulling a magic sword from a stone, doesn't mean that a real person like Arthur never existed. Hello. Trying to get Salem to get up on my lap. He keeps rolling around my leg.
I'm none too sure about all this. It sounds a bit fishy to me. Mysterious packages from unknown senders, and the whole bit about Arthur being a real king. No one's ever been sure of that. I suspect a fraud. The package came with no return address, and the postmark was so smudged I couldn't make out from where it was sent. But if this scroll does turn out to be real, then it may prove not only that Arthur really lived, but that he was born in the castle of Tintagel.
Yeah, right?
The British Library has many books on the legends of King Arthur. There are many different versions of the legend, but the most popular describes a young king who grew up as a commoner, then proved himself to be the one true king of Britain by drawing a magic sword named Excalibur out of a stone. When he became king, the young Arthur, with the help of the wizard Merlin, united all of Britain under one rule. He created a wonderful palace called Camelot, where he ruled with Guinevere, his queen. King Arthur's knights were the bravest and strongest in the land. To avoid arguments over who would sit at the head of his table, Arthur created a round table so that all his knights would have an equal place. Wow, there sure are a lot of stories about the adventures of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. You should grab one of these books when we get back to the States. They're excellent. A newsletter called Nightlife lists different modern happenings that might be of interest to fans of King Arthur. That's a punny title if I've ever seen one. It is published in Covent Garden by Dennis Stalls. The front page of the newsletter carries an article on Tintagel. The article discusses whether or not the castle there could have been the true birthplace of King Arthur. It quotes Mr. Lance Ash, a shopkeeper in Tintagel, who claims sometimes he can just sense the presence of Merlin in the ruins. The newsletter's literary page has a review of Professor Mathon's new book, Myth, Magic, and Merlin. Excellent, raves the reviewer. Oxford's greatest authority on British mythology has produced the finest gathering of Arthurian tales since Malory. The inside page of the newsletter carries a letter to the editor from Curator Buckley of the British Museum. The letter asks the editor to help raise money to open an Arthurian exhibit in the museum. The scroll that Mr. Sneed received in the mail looks very old. It is written in fancy handwriting on a yellow roll of thick paper. The scroll says, I, wizard and friend to His Majesty, Uther Pendragon, do proclaim the birth of the child Arthur in the great castle at Tintagel. Find Merlin in this year of our Lord 1032. Hey, whoever wrote this scroll can't spell very well. Wouldn't a wizard have been pretty smart?
A wizard, if there ever was such a thing, would have been a very clever fellow indeed. But what we see here aren't necessarily misspellings. In 1032, English was a very different language than our modern English. A lot of these old words would look misspelled to you and I. For example, that F in the word majesty is really a fancy old way of writing the letter S. It simply looks more like an F to us.
Fun fact, many years later, in the late 1700s and even into the early 1800s, they continued to write S's that look like F's. You can actually look at some of the founding documents and see some of these SF weird mistaken letters.
I've got a cat on me now, so I'm like stuck in position here. Chief Havok wrote, Bunyan and Babe is a legend from where I am. Yeah, back to the Paul Bunyan thing. That's pretty cool. I always thought that was a cute legend. And you can see there's a couple of like gas stations or something that have like giant Paul Bunyans. And I feel like I need to sneeze. Nothing to do with the cat, just randomly. Maybe not. Okay. Anyhow. Salem came to take over. Sorry, this is no longer your stream. Yeah, pretty much. That's what he does. He's a camera hog, or he can be. Oh, jeez. All right.
English has changed a lot in 1,000 years, but I suspect that if this scroll was authentic, it'd be even more difficult for us to read than this.
Maybe we should talk to Mr. Buckley, the museum's curator. His office is down here.
Oh, so you grew up near one of the Bunyan statues. That's cool. They recently repaired and repainted it. Oh, that's awesome.
Mr. Buckley works with a lot of
that old stuff like that.
All right. Mr. Buckley works with a lot of historical stuff in the museum. I bet he knows something about King Arthur.
Wait, Mr. Buckley looked kind of defeated a second ago. He's sort of slumped there.
I've always loved the old stories of the Knights of the Round Table. Those legends represent the most romantic time in Britain's past. The Knights of the Round Table were supposed to be the strongest and fiercest warrior of their day. They could have been bullies, but instead they lived by the code of chivalry.
Excuse me.
I've heard that word before. What does it mean?
Chivalrous knights or people use their strength to protect the weak and defenseless, not pick on them. Chivalry demands that a knight be courteous, brave, loyal, and generous.
Chivalry, actually, if you look that up, there's a dark side to that too. I won't go into it because I don't want to get banned. But several of them also died to the pit of death. True. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. Look it up sometime. It's interesting.
It's always been a pet peeve of mine that the museum, the British Museum, doesn't have an exhibit that shows off this wonderful age in Britain's history.
But are the tales of Camelot and King Arthur really part of history, or are they just stories?
Well, that really is the problem. If it were ever proven that Arthur was a true king and the legends were based in solid fact, I could get a grant to open a 30th exhibit here at the museum.
It says a few more to the Beast of Carbonog. I'm not pronouncing that right, but who's this? Percy Tribb.
I think he also works at the museum in the museum offices.
What would he sound like? Mr. Buckley has always been flawed when it comes to romantic notions. His fascination with King Arthur has always surprised me. Not the sort of thing you'd expect in a curator of such a famous museum. I'd expect that kind of fanciful drivel to be more along the lines of that so-called Professor Mathon. His latest book is all about Arthur and the wild stories built around him, you know. It's just the sort of thing Buckley loves. Still, I can hardly believe he appealed to that fanatic Stolz for support. Stolz is the head of that mad bunch of throwbacks who call themselves the Knights of the Modern Round Table. They're always dressing up in armor and putting on tournaments at the local fairs. I sometimes think they do just about anything for attention, but I suppose they make a pretty penny off those jousts and all the souvenirs they sell.
You fool, it is the rabbit! Look at the teeth, man! The teeth!
So we're going to go meet some modern knights, it looks like.
Cool, alright.
We'll start with the Covent Garden business, and then we'll go to the train station and go to the castle itself.
All right. Quick little note: those handsome cabs. We have a restaurant here in where I live called the Handsome Cab, and it's a pretty nice place. I've only been there once.
All right. David Stalls publishes nightlife from his shop here at Covent Garden. Let's see what he has to say about King Arthur.
So this is like the British version of comic book guy, I bet.
Yeah, he appears a couple times. He's not as common a character as some of the others, but he does appear in other cases, I do believe. Don't quote me on that.
What would British comic book guys sound like? I've been interested in King Arthur since I was a lad. That's why I opened this shop. I've always known that the old tales were true, so this new finding was no surprise to me.
It's him, isn't it? Because nobody told him that we were investigating the new find.
Yeah, probably.
What new finding is that, Mr. Stalls?
Oh, haven't you heard? They've discovered an ancient scroll written by the great wizard Merlin that reveals the truth about King Arthur. I'm sure it'll be in the papers soon. That'll do wonders for business around here. It's just this... Oh, cat's moving. Hang on. There you go, buddy. It's just the sort of thing that'll perk up interest in medieval times. And also a dinner special. People will flock here to pick up their authentic Tintagel...
That's okay, you're reading a character right now.
Yeah. Collector's plates and spoon sets.
You can vary it a bit for the different characters if there's pronunciation differences on certain terms.
Yeah, I just messed it up. It's fine. The scroll proves that Arthur was born at Tintagel. Wow, that's a trippy one. Just like the legends say, wouldn't you like to pick up a miniature Tintagel castle model while you're about? They won't last.
We definitely didn't tell him that we were investigating a scroll about Merlin.
That is true.
Mr. Stalls' shop is filled with every imaginable King Arthur souvenir. He carries King Arthur books, postcards, pins, erasers, keychains, and cereal bowls. Several boxes underneath the main table are marked Tintagel Castle models. But you know what his shop is apparently missing? The soundtracks of Camelot and Spamalot.
Oh, yeah. Well, Spamalot wasn't around when this game came out, I don't think, was
But
it?
Monty Python's Holy Grail was. He should be selling. He should be selling VHSs of that.
On second thought, let's not go to Camelot. 'Tis a silly place.
No, we're going to Tintagel, not Camelot.
Good. Because Camelot is a silly place.
Let's go to Oxford first and then Tintagel. We can talk to Professor Mathon at Oxford, and then we will go to Tintagel and look at the castle itself. Let's do all the business first, and then we'll do the fun stuff, the fun touristy stuff.
Right.
Oxford, great.
Camelot.
Great. I bet we can catch Professor Mathon in his classroom. He is supposed to be an expert on old stories and legends. If anyone knows anything about King Arthur, it's him. Now, this is our first case where we get on 2 trains.
All right, hang on. I have a request.
Should be selling coconut shells.
All right, there we go.
Now, technically we have 4 trains because we have the return trip. So this is our most trainy mystery yet. Professor Mathon, we've heard that you just wrote a book about King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Do you think the stories might be real?
Oh, this guy's an ex-hippie. Let's see. Well, I'd love to believe the stories about King Arthur were true, Jake, but it's not very likely. Hang on, I gotta fix something. Give me 1 second. Music got louder for some reason. Why is it doing that? That's very strange. 1 second, sorry. That's a little better. Okay. And going back. All right, here we go. I'd love to believe the stories about King Arthur were true, Jake, but it's not very likely. The tales of King Arthur are very popular, partly because they're filled with magic and heroic deeds, but no one's ever found any proof of a real King Arthur. In all my studies, the closest I've ever come is a little mention in the Easter Annals. I have a translation here on my desk. It's like Mason if he got old. Manson. Ah, yeah, okay. I was like, who's Mason? Yeah, it totally does look like Manson.
Hmm.
But even the Easter annals don't call Arthur a king. He's mentioned as a great hero and warrior, not a ruler. Legends are often built around real people, even in more modern times. I've heard a story about your President Washington tossing a coin across a river called the Potomac.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Now, President Washington was a real man, but I doubt very much that he was strong enough to toss a coin across a huge river like that. I suspect there was indeed a great warrior called Arthur once. He may have won great victories in ancient times. Perhaps he even became a powerful king. In any case, he made such an impression on his people that they created these wonderful stories about him. The tales about Arthur have grown and grown so that now the name King Arthur is known throughout the English-speaking world. That's why I expect my book will do so well. These legends are as popular today as they've ever been. Yeah, the wooden teeth thing and the thing about the chopping down the cherry tree. I cannot tell a lie. All that, yeah, it's all legend. Of course, I imagine if we could prove King Arthur really did exist, my book would sell even better.
The Easter Annals are calendars created by monks almost 1400 years ago to mark when Easter occurred that year. In the margins of the calendars, the monks noted the important events of that year. Professor Mathon has translated some of these early notes. They mention a leader named Arthur winning great battles in 518 AD and being killed in battle in 541 AD. These passages in the Easter Annals are the only... Yeah, that's you.
Yep.
I did that again. I'm sorry. Well, you know it's getting late at this point because
Yeah, I know you get into a rhythm of reading or whatever, but yeah, to beef up. Yeah, I think a lot of the founding fathers probably celebrated 420. Just a passing observation, but could be wrong. These passages in the Easter Annals are the only proof we have that a great leader named Arthur existed. If he truly was a historical figure, he must have lived in the 6th century AD.
but these notes all talk about the 500s.
That's right. The calendar we use separates dates by the birth of Christ. The time before Christ is called BC, before Christ. The time after Christ's birth is called AD, from the Latin Anno Domini, or in the year of our Lord. We count our centuries beginning with Christ's birth also. The years 1 to 100 made up the 1st century AD. Any year between 501 to 600 would be part of the 6th century. That's why even though we live in the 1900s, we say we live in the 20th century.
Actually, we're living in the 21st century now, but this game is old.
I was just going to say that, yeah. Yep. I'm on a train, and I'm reading a book, and I'm banging my head randomly.
Cool. Let's check out the castle. But we need to check the map. Okay, that's me. All right.
Yep.
Give me a minute. I closed the map after I used it last time because it's very situational when it comes up. So we're either going west or east. I'm pulling up the picture on my computer now, and I see London.
I mean, that's a real castle, so hang on a second.
London is all the way out on the west by Devon and Cornwall. It's between Devon and Cornwall. Looks like we're going west.
Oh yeah, it's all the way on like the oh, come on, straighten up.
All right, we're taking the westbound train.
It's all the way on like the west coast of
I already know who did it though, because the one guy knew about the scroll, even though we didn't mention it. What a cool place. I bet Jennifer would love this. She's nuts about old castles and stuff.
Oh, this guy. All right. Souvenirs. Get your souvenirs here. Guidebooks, maps, authentic stones from King Arthur's birthplace. He's a transplant from Jersey.
King Arthur's birthplace? Are you sure?
As sure as a man can be about a feeling in his bones. I couldn't prove it. No one has yet. but I'm sure that old Tintagel was the true Camelot where Arthur made his home. Where there's smoke, there's fires, they say. That means old stories are usually based on a little bit of truth. I think this place makes as fine a setting for the stories of Merlin, Arthur, and Guinevere as any.
The guidebook says Tintagel Castle was built in about 1145 AD. No wonder it's practically crumbled away. It's almost 900 years old, and the case is closed. We have what we need, but let's just finish getting the last couple clues.
Yeah, let's go through it, yeah.
It says here that all those little tiny rooms down there are the remains of an old Celtic monastery. Creepy. I bet this place is really spooky after dark. It says here that no proof has ever been found to back up the legend that King Arthur was born here. Whoever wrote this guidebook thinks that legend was made up by medieval writers with great imaginations. Well, considering that this castle was built about 500 to 600 years after the one historical reference to Arthur in the actual records, we know that the scroll is a fake. The castle of Tintagel is now almost completely ruined. The ancient battlements have fallen, but you can still see the outline of the castle walls and the tiny underground rooms called catacombs. The main part of the castle was built on a rock island overlooking steep cliffs and the crashing fury of the sea below. The castle is connected to the mainland by a bridge.
But it wasn't a rock, it was a rock land.
Okay, go ahead.
Steep rocky paths and winding stairs were cut into the cliffs to connect the lower and upper parts of the castle. All right. Well, let's solve this on site.
All right.
This is as scenic a
Now,
place as any to solve it.
Okay, so hold up before we start doing this. Something I would like to do with this. Let me read through the different things, and then we can select them or whatever, because we're going through these awfully fast and all that. So here's the first page of clues. Mr. Sneed only told Aunt Miranda about the scroll he received. No one else should know about the story.
That's definitely one, though.
Yeah. The legend of King Arthur says that he united all of Britain under one rule and lived at Camelot with Guinevere, his queen. Meh. The third clue. No one is really sure where King Arthur's Camelot might have been if it existed at all. Sometimes historical heroes and heroines become so famous or popular that many exciting stories are woven about them. Just because some of the stories are made up doesn't mean that the person did not truly exist. That's the fourth clue. Fifth clue. Dennis Stalls publishes the newsletter Nightlife. Sixth clue. Professor Mathon of Oxford University has just written a book on the legends of King Arthur and the Round Table. Seventh clue. Curator Buckley wrote a letter to the editor of Nightlife asking for help in opening an Arthurian exhibit in the British Museum. Eighth clue. The scroll that Mr. Sneed received is signed by the magician Merlin. It says that King Arthur was born at Tintagel Castle in 1032 AD.
Another conflicting date in this clue.
Yeah, the year is going to be, yeah. Clue 9. Curator Buckley thinks that if the Arthurian legends were proven to be true, he could open an exhibit about King Arthur in the British Museum. Now that establishes maybe motive.
Yeah, so it's possible that Buckley asked Stalls to do it, but really, we only get to pick 5 clues, and the clues that point to the scroll being fake, we need to direct it to Stalls.
Yep. All right, so that was 7, 8, 9. Here's clue 10. David Stalls heads a group called the Knights of the Modern Round Table. The Knights put on jousting tournaments and sell souvenirs at local fairs. 11th clue. Mr. Stall says he heard that someone found a scroll written by Merlin. He says that the scroll proves King Arthur was born at Tintagel Castle. And number 12, Mr. Stalls has a huge supply of souvenirs from Tintagel Castle in his shop. Oh, there's more. That was 12, right?
Yeah.
This one is 15. 13. Mr. Ashe says that he's sure that King Arthur lived in Tintagel Castle because Tintagel would make a very nice setting for the stories of the Knights of the Round Table. Clue 14. The castle at Tintagel was not built until around 1145 AD. That we should probably click. Yeah. Professor Mathon thinks that proof of King Arthur's existence would help his new book to sell well. Motive again, but either way. 16. The only real proof that Arthur existed is a note in the 6th century Eastern Annals. If there really was a King Arthur, he probably would have lived in the 6th century AD. what was it? 17. The abbreviation BC stands for before Christ. An event that happened in 50 BC would have occurred 50 years before the birth of Christ.
I want to make sure there's no more. There is one more page. Oh, yeah, but
Really?
these are not relevant. So let's just click the one that says Arthur lived in the 6th century, which predates both the scroll and the castle, and the scroll itself predates the castle,
Yeah.
allegedly. So
In other news, Twitch apparently censors the word hillbilly.
yeah. If you
I
think the
have
scroll
permitted
is
the term
fake,
hillbilly.
we need to. It's Mr. Stalls.
Yeah, yeah.
The others have motive, but they're at least grounded in reason. Mr. Stalls was a bit on the crazy side.
Yeah, he's the English comic book guy. Super fan.
You got it. That ancient scroll was a fake. Mr. Stalls wrote it himself as a publicity stunt. The scroll that Mr. Sneed got in the mail appeared to be signed by Merlin the Magician. It said that King Arthur was born in 1032 AD at the castle of Tintagel. But the guidebook we got at Tintagel says that the castle wasn't even built until about 1143 AD, over 100 years later. Mr. Sneed had his suspicions about the scroll he received in the mail. That's why he decided not to tell anyone about it except Aunt Miranda. But when we went to talk to Mr. Stalls in Covent Garden, he knew all about the scroll and had even stocked up his store with Tintagel souvenirs. He must have sent the fake scroll to the British Library himself.
The people pulling off stuff in this game aren't the brightest in the box, are they? Arthurian hoax exposed. A falsified ancient scroll proclaiming the birth of the legendary King Arthur at Castle Tintagel was exposed as a fraud yesterday by intrepid young sleuth Uncle Evie. Quote, I had my suspicions about the authenticity of the scroll, quote, said Mr. Sneed, head librarian of the British Library. Quote, but it was an uncle who proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the letter was a phony, end quote. Uncle's research into Tintagel and King Arthur exposed the letter's author as well. Known publicity hound Mr. David Stall of the Knights of the Modern Round Table. Quote, who knows, said Stall. Quote again, I may have pulled it off if I'd done my homework like Uncle, end quote.
At least he's admitting defeat. And
yeah.
I don't think we have time to go in and do that other one at this point because we're just 9 minutes shy of 4 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say that. We started attempting to do this around 9:30 and it's 1:30, so this is about right. So
yeah,
we can go ahead and call it here if you like.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. I wanted to squeeze one more in the... How many more do we have left on book one? Can you go
book one, we've done 7 so far. So no, we've done 6 from book one. So we have 19 left in book one. But remember, next stream we'll be able to do more because we won't be playing the tutorial that took twice as long. So
yeah.
So
it looks like on and doing there is doing this weird infinity effect on
yeah,
my
I know.
screen.
I came back here to see if I wanted to raid out, and I'm just gonna raid out to a musician who's usually on late night. I'm not even sure if he's actually there or if he has his piano loop on repeat right now. Sometimes he does, but I'm gonna raid out to John Lee Music. You do whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drop out because I need to get up early in the morning.
And I'll keep you posted on what I decide to do about Temple on Friday. Even if I don't go to Temple, I'll still be watching from here first before we get involved with this. Like tonight.
All right, cool.
I don't miss Temple, even if I'm not there.
Okay. So a quick program note from me. I will be we'll be streaming again tomorrow night with Unbalanced. Back to Red Dead again. We're going to see what kind of trouble we can get up to in that. The Liquid Death thing, we'll probably do that in either 2 or 3 weeks. I need to do it before too long. Otherwise, I'm going to drink all this Liquid Death, and that would not be good for the stream. So, at any rate, thank you, Chief Havuk. Let's see.
And text.
Oh, yeah. You're capturing OBS. That's what's...
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on. All right.
I kind of think the infinity effect is kind of cool, and I don't usually get to do it on stream, so I'm gonna let it fly as my exit view.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. All right, cool. Well, yeah, you get in touch with me next week. Maybe we can do this again next Friday or something.
Yeah,
this was a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this.
And in the group text with Q, You can put it. You can put in a mention on what you want to do for the game night, which is on the calendar. That's a private matter, so we can discuss it in the group
Yeah,
chat.
yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip over to my good night thing, and thanks everyone for joining us. I really do appreciate it. Yeah,
And
have a
I'm gonna
wonderful
set up
evening.
on my end. I'm gonna set up the exit raid out to John Lee Music. I haven't checked to see if he's actually live or if he's just doing his piano loop video, but it's a very nice piano loop, and he plays many recognizable songs, and it goes on for an hour. So even if it's just the video, you'll still have some good music to listen to. Have a
Cool.
good night, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow for some zoo content. And at some point, we'll raid out, hopefully into Brett's stream. But for tomorrow, I'm playing Planet Zoo. I'll be doing the second tutorial scenario, and then I will be doing maybe starting Mega Zoo 2, maybe just some more scenarios for practice, so that and starting Mega Zoo on the next time we do that. But whatever. And then Monday, of course, is
Yeah.
Mario Day. We'll have Mario content on Monday.
Cool. All right, so now that everybody's set on what's going on, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, hopefully, for some more Red Dead. Did you have anything else to say, Evie?
No, I'm just about to click the raid button.
All right, and I'm gonna click good night. Good night, everybody.
Good
Thanks,
night.
guys. Have a good evening.